Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Hey there. John Kobylt Show. We are off and running. We're on from 3 to 6. After 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand. That's the podcast. Whatever you missed, it's the same as the radio show. And we are live once again on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@JohnKobyltShow to subscribe or to become a member. And it was a really good night last night. It's about as good as you could expect, considering we're in California. Where for the governor's race, you had Steve Hilton is on top, and I'm going to round these numbers off at about 28%, and Javier Becerra, the Democrat, is second at about 25%, and Tom Steyer third, about 19.5%.
Javier Baccaria.
Right, Javier Baccaria. And then in the mayor's race, you have Karen Bass at 35%. Spencer Pratt at 30, and Nithya Raman back at 22. So Pratt and Hilton look like they're making the runoff. However, not all the votes are counted, and a lot of them might not be counted for weeks. In fact, I was looking right before we went on the air, and it looks like they didn't count any votes since 7 in the morning. I don't know what that's about. Now we got Steve Hilton, right? All right, let's put him on. Steve Hilton. Right now, the number one finisher in the race. Steve, congratulations.
Thank you, John. We've been talking quite a bit the last few days as the race has got towards its conclusion. But this is going to be the nicest conversation because we can say that all the hard work paid off, and it does definitely look as if we're going to be in the top two. Of course, you're right that there's still millions to be counted and things could change, but we don't think that there's any real prospect of both the other Democrats in the running, both of them overtaking me and shutting us out from the general election. So whether we end up in first place or second place doesn't matter because it's nice to be first, and that's great. And hopefully that'll continue as the votes are counted. But the main thing is that we are going to have a choice in November. We're going to be able to change direction for the state of California and in LA, which is fantastic news. So you're right. It feels like a really, really exciting night for everyone who's sick of the nonsense in California and wants change.
On the inside, do you and your staff, do you have a sense of where the votes still need to come in, and you know where your strengths are and where Becerra or Steyer's strengths are? Do you have any idea?
Not really. There's a possibility that actually the remaining Democrat votes are going to lean more Steyer. In other words, that he could go up and Becerra could go down. They could come a bit closer. I don't know if it's enough to get Steyer into the top two. I truly don't know. We don't have any sense of that. But that's our feeling that that's likely to be the next direction. The next direction of the change is Steyer up and Becerra probably down a bit.
What do you think resonated the most with people throughout your campaign? What's the feedback you got most often as to why they were turned on by your candidacy?
Yeah. I think there's one general thing and then a couple of specific things. The general thing is, boy, are you working hard? That sense of energy and hunger for making this happen. I think I got a lot of feedback on that. And I think that's a really important point. I certainly set out to do that. I remember at the beginning of the campaign, before we even started, you talk to people who've been doing politics in California for a long time. I believe in getting advice from everyone and talking to lots of people. And I heard it all from this sort of old school Sacramento consultant people. Oh, you just, make your announcement in some boring hotel room from the press conference, and then you stay at home phoning people up, calling people for money. And then, a year later, you put ads on TV. I said, I don't think that's right at all. You've got to actually campaign. And that's what I've been doing. I've done it exactly my way. I've run the campaign I wanted to run. Highly visible, high energy. We've been to nearly every county in the state. It's been pretty much nonstop for a year. And I appreciate the fact that people have noticed it. But the thinking behind that was part of what we have to do here in California is just rekindle that belief that change is possible. Because there's so many people, I think, who've kind of given up and say, yeah, these Democrats, they're going to be in power forever, nothing we can do. And so that sense of energy and hustle, I think, is part of the story of really bringing about the change we want. The specific feedback was on some of these, a couple of the policies that I've been talking about for the last year really, connect with people very directly. One is your first 100 grand tax free, and the second is $3 gas for obvious reasons. And they seem to, I've been repeating that, endlessly, and people have really started to notice. And I think that's obviously going to continue now in the general election.
You mentioned what the traditional Republican campaign has been, and I don't think people are used to seeing a Republican run for governor since Schwarzenegger, who's actually out there campaigning and enjoying themselves. I couldn't even remember who ran against Newsom last time. Honest to God, somebody asked me a couple months ago, and I couldn't remember the guy's name. And same thing with the guy before that. And there was just no pizzazz at all, no showmanship, let alone, issues that were explained thoroughly in a relatable way. And you're doing all of this, and you're making a much bigger impression than the last three guys combined.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, we've worked very hard for it. And it's also the other point, I made a bit of a joke about it last night. I don't know if you saw the speech I did, which is we're a really small team, a very scrappy startup mindset. I've actually run a startup in the business world, so I know what that's like. And we've done it really through creativity and energy. And you see some of these other campaigns, I mean, the amount of money they spend on, like I made a joke about it. You do these TV debates, and they give you a room each, to sort of prepare for all the teams. And it's just me and one other guy. And you see these other campaigns, they show up with sort of 6, 7, 8, 9 people. And you think, what's it about? I don't understand. And so I feel very, I don't know what the word is. I just feel very happy, actually, that I did it my way, and it seems to have been rewarded. And that's a good feeling. And that's how we're going to continue.
All right, assuming it's Becerra in the final, and it looks very likely it's you and Javier Becerra. What's the biggest differentiation between you and him that you're going to be emphasizing over the next 5 months?
It's a central argument in the election, and that's why I think actually he's a useful candidate in this sense. I go back and forth on which people say, who would you rather face? I don't have a firm view on that, but I think Becerra underlines the central question in this election, which is change or more of the same. If you're happy with the way things are going in California, Javier Becerra is your guy. He couldn't find a single thing to criticize in Gavin Newsom's policies when he was asked about it on CNN by Alex Michelson the other day. He gave him an A on homelessness. It's more of the same. He's the living embodiment. I know. He's the living embodiment of more of the same. And so, there's many other things that you can find to talk about. For example, his lamentable record as Biden's health secretary, where even the other cabinet officials thought he was the most useless member of the cabinet. The fact that, he pushed tens of thousands of migrant kids into the arms of unscrupulous employers and child sex traffickers, and all of that story. You've got his corruption scandal that he's enmeshed in, which could still have him indicted at some point, as Katie Porter pointed out in one of the debates. There's a lot of things there, and actually you could go even further. And I think there's going to be a lot you could dig into on his record as health secretary. For example, he dismantled the unit that was there to stop Medicaid fraud. Here we call it Medi-Cal. That's a huge part of the fraud we've seen. The vice president's fraud task force really digging into that. It was Becerra and his actions that in many ways enabled that. So there's just a ton of material, as it were. He's a target-rich environment. But I think the central point is that he's literally just represents exactly the same, California Democrat machine that's failed us for the last 16 years. He's been nothing but a career politician for 36 years. I mean, what? Are you serious? This is a guy that you're going to give us in a state where 56% of people think the state's going in the wrong direction. I think it's actually going to be, pretty easy to make the case against him.
That's what astonishes me about this campaign, if you could call it that he's running, because he is not even offering even a minor change on what Newsom is doing. I have not heard a difference on any issue.
No.
I've not heard a single, even mild criticism, nothing whatsoever. And it's really crazy considering, we can both do the laundry list of things that are going wrong. Exactly. And things that people believe are going wrong.
Exactly. And so that's exactly. And when you look at Tom Steyer, he's definitely for change, no question. But the change is even worse. It's even more extreme.
Yeah.
It's going in the same. It's in the same direction we're going, but further and faster. So it's not the kind of change we want. But he does accept them. I mean, the other day, in fact, in the equivalent interview, I think, with Alex Michelson, he asked him the same question, and he said, and he put to him, Steve Hilton says we need change, and Steyer said he's right. Steve's right. We do need change. But then he goes into his list, and it's insane. It's like single-payer healthcare and shutting down ICE, prosecuting ICE, all the usual far-left talking points. And so that is not the change we need. But
he spent what,
I suppose, connecting with the idea that people want change. Sorry, yes.
No, he spent $220 million of his own money on this?
Oh, it's incredible. We actually did a little calculation of the cost per vote based on the vote so far, and basically I was $4.50. You had Becerra about 20, Matt Mayhem was about 65, and Steyer 75.
Oh my God!
So Steyer was basically 200 times more. And as I made the point, even Becerra, who actually only peaked a little bit at the end there, spent nearly 5 times as much as us. And there you go. Great example. With Republicans, you get value for money. Democrats just spend a lot of money and don't get much in return.
Steyer would have gotten more votes if he just wrote $75 checks to everybody in exchange for their support.
I know.
All right. Well, listen, Steve, again, congratulations. And I know we'll be talking a lot over the next 5 months. And whenever you've got anything you want to discuss or announce or a program or react to something in the news, please let us know. We'll have you on.
Of course. Will do. Thank you so much, John. See you soon.
Steve Hilton, right now, the #1 candidate for governor after Election Day yesterday, and it looks likely he will be in the top 2. We will continue with a lot to talk about with Spencer Pratt getting a solid #2 in the primary race in L.A. last night for mayor. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. It looks like L.A. Mayor Bass will be facing former reality TV personality Spencer Pratt in November. And as you just heard, Steve Hilton is going up against what it looks like to be Javier Becerra in November. And a CEO has been arrested in Newport Beach, accused of illegally selling U.S. computer technology to Iran. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour, heading over to the 110 next.
If you're hurt in a car accident, a motorcycle crash, a trucking collision, even a dog bite, what comes next is usually the same. It's pain you didn't expect and appointments you didn't plan for. And insurance companies that say they're there to help, but they're really focused on protecting themselves. And that's why I'm telling you about Sweet James. Sweet James Accident Attorneys. They help you when injuries are real, stress is high, and the insurance companies already have a plan and you don't. If you've been hurt in an accident, you don't face it alone. Let the attorneys at Sweet James be by your side and help you recover. You call for a free consultation at 1-800-9-MILLION, 1-800-9-MILLION, with offices throughout California, including Los Angeles, and they can't guarantee or predict the outcome of your case, but it's important to have Sweet James by your side. 1-800-9-MILLION, 1-800-9-000-000, or go to sweetjames.com.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center, Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny tomorrow, highs upper 60s to mid 90s. This report brought to you by Hard Rock Casino Tejon. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 110 in downtown LA.
On the northbound side of the 110 before Adams Boulevard, a 2-vehicle collision is over on the right-hand shoulder. North 110 is slow from the 105 up to the 5 Golden State Freeway. Heading the other direction on the 110, the Pasadena Freeway heading south before Academy Road. Watch for a stalled box truck. It's blocking the slow lane. 210 eastbound just past Irwindale Avenue, a 2-vehicle wreck's on the right shoulder. East 210, your stop and go leaving Pasadena from Mountain Street down to Myrtle Avenue. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Escape the city at the all-new Hard Rock Casino Tejon, just an easy drive from downtown LA. Play your favorites across over 2,000 slot machines, plus baccarat, blackjack, roulette, and craps. Enjoy live entertainment and exceptional dining. Must be 21 or older. Concerned about your gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Shop on-the-go staples at Whole Foods Market. Get 30% off select snacks with Prime through June 9th. Save on favorites from Annie's, Cascadian Farm, Epic, and Laura Bar. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
These days, it's getting harder and harder to trust what you're seeing. Who made it? Is it real? But with iHeart, everything you hear is guaranteed human. That's why 78% of listeners trust their favorite radio hosts' product recommendations. And if you own or manage a business here or need to drive sales, that trust goes a long way in creating your future customers. Make iHeartMedia a part of your 2026 plan today. Call 844-844-iHeart. Again, that's 844-844-iHeart.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
So many things big and little make you uniquely you. Your hobbies, dreams, careers, family, and more. Addiction to drugs, including opioids and stimulants, can strip these away from you. Recover your life. Choose treatment for drug addiction and get back to what matters most. Find a provider and proven treatment option that's right for you. Recover you at choosechangeca.org.
Hey, y'all, it's Dean Sharp, your house whisperer. You know, here in L.A., Tina and I got tired of wondering what was actually in our tap water, and that is why we put in a Life Source whole house water system. Now, I don't think twice about the water that my family drinks or cooks with or showers in. That is peace of mind, and that is why Life Source has become an essential home appliance. And for a limited time, you get factory direct pricing and free installation. Call the factory direct at 800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com.
I'm Michelle McPhee, and in my new podcast, Kingdom of Fraud, I'm unraveling the strangest criminal alliance I've ever reported on. A polygamist from Utah and an LA Armenian businessman.
$1 billion fraud.
But how long can this alliance last?
Is somebody coming after me?
Search Kingdom of Fraud on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
John Kobylt Show, KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Around 3 to 6. After 6, John Kobylt Show on demand, the podcast, and then you can go to YouTube right now. We're live on YouTube, and you can subscribe or become a member. YouTube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. All right, so Spencer Pratt, solid second place. Less than 5 points behind Karen Bass, and 8 points ahead of Nithya Raman. And that's big. It's there's over, every site I go to for some reason, there should be one set of vote totals and one set of percentages of the vote that's come in. And I swear I saw 3 or 4 different versions of this morning after they stopped counting votes. And they stopped counting about 7 in the morning. And they haven't had any new votes since. But he's 8 up, and just doing the math in my head, she would have to beat Pratt by 20 or 25 points with the remaining votes to surpass him in total. And that's not possible because Karen Bass is splitting some of the same audience. So Raman's cooked. And I guess she knew it last night because it looks like she started crying. Here, play cut number 1.
I've been a candidate for something as long as you can remember. And you've had to live through it with me. And you've been so patient through all of it. Thank you. Kanan Kaveri, I hope you know that everything every person in this room is fighting for in this campaign has been about building a city that's worthy of you and every child in this city.
What is she crying about? I mean, obviously, she lost, but you want to build a city that's worthy of any child, then why have you spent the last 6 years on the city council blocking other council people from moving the homeless encampments from in front of their schools. This is where I wonder, is she just insane? I mean, if it's part of her belief system that the homeless should be allowed anywhere and to behave any way they wish, well, then just say so. But to give us this gibberish about wants to make the city worthy of her kids, I don't think her kids want to see naked drug addicts screaming while they're walking to school. Because when that protest group sent fake homeless people to Raman's house, first thing Raman responded with is, "Oh, fortunately, my kids didn't see that." And I have never seen such hypocrisy and such cluelessness in my life. One of the central planks of her career as a politician in LA has been her hardline, unyielding insistence that you can't move homeless encampments for any reason, not even if it's in front of a school, not even if there's lunatics in front of the school. And what further convinced me that she is completely delusional, and I'm talking in a medical sense here. This is not just random political insult. This is like a clinical diagnosis of delusional. She actually said with a straight face that she thought the election was going to be about bike lanes. And we played that clip a number of times. And she really said that. And she really meant that. She thought it was going to be about bike lanes. Well, between that and the way she freaked out about the fake homeless encampment in front of her house while voting against everybody else who wanted to move the encampments, I marvel. I haven't seen an exact species like her before. I don't know what is going on in her head. I completely am baffled. Absolutely baffled. I get people have their opinions, ideologies, their ways of looking at life, but whatever's going on inside of that empty skull, well-educated empty skull, I don't know. I don't understand. And I don't understand the people who vote for her. I really don't. And I hope they're not... I don't know. You vote for Nithya Raman, maybe I don't know, somehow you should be disenfranchised, maybe. Maybe you should be suspended from your voting privileges for maybe about 5 years. Because when you really abuse a privilege, I mean, you should lose it for a while. And you should sit in a dark room and think about what you've done. I can only hope that they are so disgusted with Karen Bass that maybe they'll go for Pratt. Maybe some of their votes was because Bass was so terrible. Or maybe they just shouldn't vote at all. And I hope Nithya Raman never runs for anything ever again. Well, I shouldn't say that because she's good material. She's good for a lot of yucks. All right, we come back. We'll talk. I got some stuff about Spencer Pratt because I think he did better than a lot of people thought he would, and I think he's going to be a nightmare for Karen Bass. I don't think you could come up with two candidates who are farther apart when it comes to digesting reality. We'll talk about it when we come back. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
LA Mayor Bass will face former reality TV personality Spencer Pratt in November, as you've been hearing, the second time since 1977 that an incumbent LA mayor has been forced into a runoff. Bass won the most votes in last night's primary, while Pratt beat out Councilwoman Nithya Raman for second place. He's challenging Bass to a series of debates, while the mayor is stressing her experience and promising to continue efforts to cut down on the homeless situation. Republican Steve Hilton is headed to a runoff with Democrat Javier Becerra in the race for governor of California in November. Hilton's ahead with about 28% of the primary vote and says there are big differences between himself and Becerra. He says Becerra is part of the Democratic machine that's failed California for the last 16 years. Sheriff Robert Luna is headed for a rematch with former Sheriff Alex Villanueva, who he defeated in 2022. State Senator Maria Elena Durazo appears headed to victory in the race to replace termed-out Hilda Solis on the Board of Supervisors, and a proposed half-cent sales tax to fund healthcare services impacted by federal funding cuts appears to be losing. A CEO has been arrested in Newport Beach accused of illegally selling U.S. computer technology to Iran. ABC's Alex Stone says Jamshid Gomi is the CEO of an Iran-based tech company.
Federal prosecutors say Gomi has been illegally selling U.S. computer technology to the Iranian government. They say he was acquiring sophisticated networking, security, and encryption equipment and was selling it to Iranian customers.
Gomi's charged with conspiracy to violate the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. A judge has set October 5th as the trial date for a guy from San Clemente who allegedly plowed his car into a crowd on a sidewalk near an East Hollywood nightclub, leaving more than 30 people injured last summer. He was ordered in March to stand trial on 45 counts of attempted murder and 39 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. That crash happened around 2 a.m. on July 19th. And the UN says the chance of an El Nino is growing, and that could mean record temperatures next year.
The United Nations World Meteorological Organization says there's an 80% chance of warm water pushing toward the Americas instead of Asia by the end of August. It's not known what causes it to happen every 2 to 7 years, but it usually makes wildfires and droughts more possible in Australia and Southeast Asia and makes hurricanes and monsoons more extreme and unpredictable in the southern U.S. and Central America. The UN says the chance of a super El Nino, which is not an official term, has jumped from 25% to 37%. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
We're heading over to the 405 next.
Have you checked the value of your used car? Go to GiveMeTheVin.com. They want to buy your car, whether it's your daily driver, the pickup truck, your SUV, minivan, or exotic car. If Give Me the VIN doesn't beat a deal from CarMax or Carvana, they'll pay you $100. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com, enter your car's VIN or license plate number. You get an offer back in minutes, well above any dealer quote. Go to one of their pickup locations or they come to you. It's easy, it's fast. It's GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI. We have the low clouds and fog, otherwise known as June gloom, again in the morning. Then it will be sunny, highs mid-70s to low 80s, metro LA, mid-80s to low 90s in the valleys and the high desert. Windy again in the high desert, upper 60s to low 70s at the beaches, mid to upper 70s inland OC, upper 80s to mid 90s and windy for the IE. Right now, 77 in Laguna Woods, 80 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Crash on the 405 near LAX.
Southbound side of the 405, just before the 105, it's a two-vehicle collision. No lanes are blocked. Both vehicles on the right shoulder. But the South 405, your stop and go from Sunset Boulevard down to the 110. Speaking of the 110, the Pasadena Freeway heading southbound just before Academy Road. A stalled box truck should be cleared from the slow lane, but the South 110 slow going from the 5 down to Florence Avenue. Also a slow right on the 10 eastbound, the Santa Monica Freeway from Pico Boulevard to the East LA interchange. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
After an accident, one question comes to mind. What happens next? Wilshire Law Firm brings clarity when things feel uncertain. While you focus on healing, we fight for the compensation you deserve. That's what happens next. Call now. 1-800-ABCDEFG. Wilshire Law Firm is in LA.
June 4th, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is back with no gloves, no excuses, just raw smash mouth action. In the main event, a man who lives to fight, Julian Let Me Bang Lane, goes face to face with the undefeated Bryce Baba Yaga Henry. In the co-main event, Gogo Slaveski fights Johnny El Toro Tello in a bare knuckle war. June 4th, don't miss what everybody's talking about. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Watch live on the BKFC app. Download it at BKFC.com.
Ellen K's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. Secrets, betrayal, relationship drama, it's all there. Binge the episodes now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Ellen K's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Having car problems that won't go away? If your vehicle's been in the shop 2 or more times for the same issue, you may qualify for a refund, replacement, or cash compensation. You pay nothing, the manufacturer covers the fees. Go to refundyourlemon.com. It takes just 2 minutes. That's refundyourlemon.com.
Wild Fork Foods is celebrating World Cuts. Get it? Fire up that grill and get ready for summer soccer with incredible cuts from around the globe. At Wild Fork, you'll find the largest meat and seafood selection under one on roof. More than 500 options to choose from. The prices, they can't be beat. Over 270 proteins under $10 a pound and more than 80 under $5 a pound. Try the chimichurri seasoned outside skirt steak for $19.98 a pound. You'll save $1 per pound today. You get more food that's healthy, delicious, and 100% guaranteed. Find your local SoCal store at wildfork.com.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST Medical.
Experience, reputation, and trust matter. If you've been injured, OPOLaw.com.
It's the Marketer's Report. In this edition, Scott Hinchelwood, Director of Partner Support, Music and Audio Engagement for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, talks about the power of live events.
We've been working with iHeart now, and going back to your beginning, and then you guys have we have over 60 iHeart station partners out there that really, and Bobby and Billy Greenwood and all the other, Angie Ward, all your other talents that are out there telling our story. And it really helps drive that St. Jude mission home and share our patients and share our mission and really kind of drive home what we do and why we are such a place to go for pediatric cancer.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to all the audiences, live events, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. And all guaranteed human. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Can't find AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. All right, since the results are mostly in, Moist Line, you can call and vent about what's happened. 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86. Or use the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. And in 2 days, in the 5 o'clock hour, we will play back 2 rounds of your responses. So leave a message and we'll record it. And we have a new member. And this person is known as Benatar Tribute. Benatar Tribute has become a YouTube member of our show. Well, congratulations. And you could do that too. Go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. All right. So Spencer Pratt gets second place last night. And it was a strong second too. I want to point something out that's statistically very important. At the moment, the percentage of people who did not vote for Karen Bass yesterday is 65%. And I think, Deborah, you had something in the news that this is only the second time since 1977 that a LA mayor, and a LA mayor, an incumbent mayor, is being forced into a runoff. And the only other time was when Jim Hahn, back in the 2000s, ran for a second term, and he won by 10 points in the first round, and he got bounced by Tony Villar. Now, Bass's margin of victory over, I wouldn't call it a victory because it just gets you to the runoff, but her margin is 5 points, not 10, 5 points over Spencer Pratt. But here's the most important thing. So, percentage of people who did not vote for her, 65%. The percentage of people who disapproved of the job she's done is 65%. The percentage of people who disapproved of her personally, 65%. So statistically, all the people who don't like her and don't like the job she's done also didn't vote for her yesterday. I was kind of remarkable how that number lined up exactly in all 3 categories. People who didn't vote for Bass, people who don't like Bass as a person, people who don't like Bass as a mayor. And that is a very rich environment for Spencer Pratt to go fishing in, because you have 2/3 of the population, 2/3 of the voters who really don't want to wake up and see Karen Bass again. And I really don't think you want to wake up in December of, what would it be, 2030? And Karen Bass is still staring at you from the TV with that fake smile and whatever that is growing on her head. You really want to see that? You really want to hear that? She was screeching last night. She was screeching in overdrive about all the wonderful things she's done. And obviously, it's a whole bunch of lies. And I have not seen a candidate who is more well prepared here on the local level to take on the machine that has driven LA into the ground than Spencer Pratt. He is terrific at it. He says all the things you wish somebody would say to these old hack, tired politicians who are corrupt and they're stupid and they're incompetent and they're liars. And that describes Bass to a T. And I don't want anybody to forget ever, not only the fire as a whole, but specifically her very bad, incompetent, deceitful behavior throughout the fire and her bad, incompetent policies that has not helped at all the homeless situation. It's not better here. I am sick and tired of her statistics. They're lies. They're lies. And I'm also fed up with the way the media covers her, because they do news stories all day. They make profits off the chaos in Los Angeles. They know it's the policies, because all these reporters and editors, producers, they've all lived here for a long time. They know it's never been like this. And they know it really changed over the last 10 years under Garcetti and Bass. And I will keep saying this. You're not going to make any friends, but shame on the reporters and editors and producers who keep amplifying Karen Bass's garbage. You know better. And I could come up with reasons why 35% will vote for her. And a lot of it has to do with government workers, union workers who got great contracts from her. Some of it might be people exercising racial solidarity, people voting because she's a woman. But if you talk just about competence and honesty, she is in rare territory as a failure. I mean, just a colossal and a deadly failure. I wake up every morning wondering, how is she not charged with murder for those 12 dead people in the Palisades fire? How does that happen? Now, here's Spencer Pratt. We'll play cut number 2 here, talking to the media.
Obviously, God wanted 5 more months of me exposing all the failures of our mayor. So it's going to be a fun ride. I hope she's ready.
Are you ready?
I mean, I was born for this, clearly.
Yeah, he's got 65% of the voting public that hates Karen Bass, hates her job, and already rejected her at the ballot box yesterday. And I imagine the percentages will continue to be pretty close to what they are now. Now, here is Spencer Pratt, who's more gracious than I would be, but then again, he's running. Thanking everybody for voting.
My message to those people that didn't vote for me, thank you for voting. I'm excited that everyone voted today. One thing I've learned is a lot of people don't vote. My goal by November, whether it's you're voting for me or you're voting for Mayor Bass, I'm going to get more people to vote. We don't have a city that votes and cares enough about our city. Everybody's given up because they've just accepted failure. Nothing changes. Things can change if you vote. So to the people who didn't vote for me, thank you for voting and caring about your city. I hope to switch you and show you you're going to be voting for me in November. But regardless, we need 4 million people to vote in November.
This is something Hilton touched on as well. How many people in California have given up? And a lot of people have. The turnout actually sucks. It's terrible. When you look at the total population, take out the children and the illegal aliens and what's left of voting age Americans, turnout still is really low. And I think he is energizing people who don't normally go out and vote, which is why he scores higher than the polling. I mean, he was at 30%, and I think of the LA Times Berkeley poll, which I keep hearing is the gold standard. I heard somebody yesterday, oh, it's a high-quality poll. Well, a high-quality poll had Pratt at 22% in third place. And right now he's at 30. And I think when they finish counting, he'll be a lot closer to 30 than 22, maybe even more than 30. Because everybody talks about the late votes skewing Democratic. I think some late votes are going to skew towards Pratt, too. Because I think he's got a lot of first-time voters. A lot of people who are on the fence about things and have decided to at least make a what-the-hell vote for the runoff. But, yeah, the giving up part has got to end. Because the rest of us can't live with the voting patterns of the people who keep pushing for a Bass or a Javier Baccaria. We can't live like this anymore. All right, more coming up. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The mayor's race isn't final yet. Political analysts say it could be a few more days before the final vote counts and projections are made. The House has approved a war powers resolution to stop U.S. military action against Iran. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We are going to, where are we going? We're going to go back to the 110 next.
Let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshakes, commissions, and then done. And you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, and so do the gaps and the risk. And that's why I'm telling you about SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like Fine Print Facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you can see what's covered and what's not. Plus, a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth, so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com, supersure.com.
Insurance paid for by SuperSure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Back to the 110 in downtown L.A.
Have a two-vehicle accident on the right shoulder. This is on the northbound side of the 110 approaching Adams Boulevard. North 110, if you're downtown bound, you're slow from El Segundo Boulevard up to the 5. 210 eastbound past Irwindale Avenue. A two-vehicle collision cleared off the right shoulder. It's gone. East 210 leaving Pasadena. Stop and go from Howard Street down to San Dimas Avenue. Near LAX, 405 southbound before the 105. It's a two-vehicle crash. This one's on the right shoulder. South 405, stop and go from Sunset Boulevard to the 605. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
The Spurs hosting the Knicks tonight for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Both teams are looking to end long title droughts. Former Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald is flirting with a return from a 2-year retirement so he can line up next to Myles Garrett. And the Dodgers will try to stack a second straight win over the Diamondbacks tonight. Shohei Ohtani will take the ball for the NL West leaders. I'm Frank Garrity.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
This report is sponsored by Albertsons and Vaughan. Shop Vaughn's or Albertsons for hot deals on family favorites. This week, get fresh boneless, skinless chicken breasts for $2.49 a pound. And Haagen-Dazs ice cream, 14 ounces or 3-count bars are $1.99 each when you buy 2 with membership where applicable.
I took Mom to catch a ball game. Is it time to pick her up yet? And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo. Number 5.
Morongo is the proud sponsor of the Ontario Tower Buzzers and Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Take in a game, then come to Morongo and play more games. It's the perfect doubleheader.
Number 4.
Don't pay high prices for gas. Morongo's Travel Center has the lowest price gas around.
3.
Happy Hour at Mosen. Half-price drinks, Monday through Thursday, 2 to 5 p.m., Friday, noon to 5 p.m.
And the number 2.
The Canyon Lanes Bowling Experience. Grab your peeps and roll in.
And the number 1 reason.
Poolside playback. Get ready to rock with the best tribute bands in SoCal. Every Thursday at Oasis Pool.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Conveniently located along the I-10. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Morongo. Good times.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that there are lots of things that can make your engine light come on, besides your engine. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's technicians are specially trained to diagnose what's causing your engine light to come on and fix it, no matter what it is. Keep your eyes on the road and your ears open for another episode of AMCO's Bet You Didn't Know.
AA MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Restrictions, limitations, and exclusions may apply. See AMCO.com for complete details.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Summer's heating up, but your wallet, doesn't have to. With American Vision Windows, new windows and doors don't have to cost you a thing until 2028. Book this June and pay nothing for 2 years. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com or call them at 888-686-8249, 888-686-8249. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. The offer ends June 30th.
Gary and Shannon.
What has Gavin Newsom gotten accomplished? He stopped high-speed rail. He didn't get anywhere with Jerry Brown's water plan. He hasn't done anything except for...
He started a podcast, and that's why I'm launching a new podcast.
There's been no momentum in terms of the Democratic agenda in California, and there's been no heir apparent, and therefore no excitement for Javier Becerra.
Tomorrow, 9 to noon on KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show, the CSU system has spent millions instituting AI into college classes and college life in general, and it's absolutely tearing itself apart. We'll explain. The Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow morning at 9.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show coming up after 4 o'clock, and we're going to talk with Carl DeMaio, the Republican Assemblyman out of San Diego, head of the organization Reform California. We had him on yesterday, and he was urging everybody who wants to overthrow the current regime in Sacramento and Karen Bass is like, you better go and vote, because you could easily have Pratt and or Hilton locked out, because all this stuff is close, and it's always going to be close. And we're going to talk to him coming up in a few minutes to see what he thinks about what's happened, what his new worries are, because Carl is always on top of things. In fact, we're going to talk about the vote counting, which is extraordinarily slow. We have a super chat from Terry Windsor, 1310. Congratulations both to Mr. Pratt and Mr. Hilton. Hopefully California, like an addict that has hit rock bottom, is finally on the road to recovery. Well, they got a lot of work to do, because they get first or second place for a runoff. But you add up the Democratic votes, and you've got to convert some of those people, or you got to bring in a lot of independent people. You got to bring in new voters. But the issues are so clear cut, and Pratt and Hilton are so good at explaining reality. And we haven't had good candidates to oppose the machine in a long time. I mean, some of the Republican candidates that ran for governor were embarrassing in their ineptitude. And I think Hilton is cut through. And Pratt is cut through. If you relentlessly talk about real life, I'm so tired. You know, I've just watched too many people comment or read too much. And everybody goes, well, you know, and it's never going to change. You know, it's just not going to happen. Pratt and Hilton are never going to go anywhere. This is all a waste of time because California is deep blue. It's Democratic. Blah, 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 blah. Stop thinking tribal. Stop thinking partisan, political. Look at what's going on in the street in front of your eyes. Look at that. And these directly from policies of those in charge. And I don't care what their political party is. What I care about. Oh, remember I've been telling you the story? Told you a couple of times about my wife taking the dog to the vet. And she got out of the car and there was a guy taking a poop right behind her car, right next to the rear wheel. So she goes back to the vet to do a follow-up check on the dog. And this time she parks, instead of on the street, she parks in a parking lot behind the vet's office. And there's a guy smoking meth. He's puffing on a meth pipe. Now, this is west side of LA. Santa Monica Boulevard. So first time, guy takes a poop. Second time, guy puffing on a meth pipe. I want that gone. I want that gone. She wants it gone. I don't want to hear about your political party prattling. Ouch! I don't want to hear about your color. Oh, it's deep blue. Well, it's a purplish state. Well, it's a red state. Shut up. I want nobody in office who allows and enables one guy to take a poop next to our car and the other guy to puff a meth pipe. Out! Whatever party they belong to, whatever ideology it is, I don't care. Out. Out. Shut up. Get out. You shouldn't be running things. You're mentally ill. You're mentally ill if you have a policy and it results in guy taking a poop, guy puffing on a meth pipe. If that's the result of your policy, then you should be physically carried out of City Hall. And all these people on their keyboards or with their little iPhone cameras, or they go into studios and they start talking about all their statistics and all their analysis and the breakdowns of this and that. It's like, shut up. Who is the guy? Who is the woman who's going to get the meth pipe smoker and the guy taking a squat next to my car? Who's getting those two out? Not just moving them, getting them out. Because 2/3 of these creeps are from outside the city to begin with. And I got to pay? And we probably paid for that meth pipe. That's all I want to hear about. That's what Spencer Pratt's going to talk about. And it's things like that Steve Hilton is going to talk about. Real life stuff. Not your stupid colors, your stupid ideology, your stupid party preference. That's how we got here. All right. That's how I feel. When we come back, Carl DeMaio. This is absurd. I mean, this has got to stop too. The count has ground to a halt. I think I saw new numbers at 7 this morning. Am I right?
You are right. We're still waiting. Daniel Gus actually sent an email to us saying that he thinks we're going to get some new voting numbers between 4 and 5.
9 hours later. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Still counting, as you heard John just ranting about. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The LA mayor's race isn't final yet. Political analysts say it could be a few more days before final vote counts and projections are made. ABC Selena Wang says it's because California's vote counting process is slow.
California has a high volume of mail-in ballots. Sometimes those ballots don't arrive until a week after Election Day. And then from there, the counting of ballots can take 30 days after election.
LA Mayor Bass has about 35% of votes counted, ahead of Spencer Pratt with 30%. After more than 15 hours of holding hostages inside a bank, law enforcement ended a standoff with a man threatening to blow up the building. The FBI's elite hostage rescue team moved in when he started becoming erratic. The FBI's Sid Patel says agents moved in, killed the guy, and rescued the hostages.
He was no stranger to law enforcement and has a criminal history of using weapons to commit violent offenses.
Police believe the guy wanted to target the bank, but went to the wrong floor of the building and held employees of Kern County School Superintendent's office. A man has been charged with violently assaulting 5 different women at UCLA, 4 of them students, within the span of 1 hour. The LA County DA's office says the guy isn't a student, didn't have permission to be on campus. DA Hockman says if convicted as charged, the guy faces 32 years to life in state prison and would also be required to register as a sex offender for life. Crews are cleaning up the compromised chemical tank at the GKN Aerospace facility in Garden Grove.
The tank filled with the toxic chemical was in danger of exploding, prompting more than 50,000 evacuations during Memorial Day weekend. Orange County health officials say there may be temporary intermittent odors during cleanup. The chemical, called MMA, will get pumped out and removed from the tank between Thursday and Friday. It'll then be transferred into sealed trucks for transport and disposal. The process is being overseen by the OC Healthcare Agency, South Coast AQMD, and GKN Aerospace. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
The LA City Council has voted unanimously to toughen up procedures to do with nuisance properties, potentially allowing the city to act faster to clean up problem sites. The updated procedures will set stricter and more clear deadlines for property owners to meet. Mayor Bass is expected to approve the ordinance.
On this vote, the yeas are 215 and the nays are 208. The concurrent resolution is adopted.
The House has approved a war powers resolution to stop U.S. military action against Iran. A handful of Republicans have joined with Democrats to end the 3-month-long conflict, but the resolution is largely symbolic in nature and doesn't go to the president's desk because it is a concurrent resolution. Iranian drone strikes have heavily damaged a passenger terminal building at Kuwait's main airport and killed 1 person. Dozens more people were hurt. The airport had just reopened Monday after a months-long closure because of the war. And SpaceX says it plans to raise up to $75 billion when it goes public with an IPO this month, setting the stage for the largest ever stock market debut and putting Elon Musk on course to becoming the world's first trillionaire. The company says it will sell 555.6 million shares at $135 apiece. That would give SpaceX a market value of $1.77 trillion. Going to the 5 next.
Have you checked the value of your car? GiveMeTheVin.com wants to buy your car. Whether it's your daily driver, pickup truck, SUV, minivan, or exotic car, GiveMeTheVin.com. You go to that site, enter your car's VIN or license plate number, and you'll get an offer on your car in minutes that's well above any dealer quote. And if they don't beat a deal from CarMax or Carvana, they'll pay you $100. GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog again in the morning. Then it will be sunny. Highs mid-70s to low 80s. Metro LA. Mid-80s to low 90s in the valleys in the high desert. Windy again in the high desert. Upper 60s to low 70s for the beaches. Mid to upper 70s inland OC. Upper 80s to mid-90s and windy for the IE. Right now 74 in Tustin, 62 Laguna Beach, 85 in Chatsworth. It's 82 in Van Nuys. The KFI Financial Update brought to you by Supershore. Supershore.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed down 621. S&P 500 down 56. The NASDAQ down 240. Crash on the 5 near Angel Stadium.
Northbound side of the 5 past Catella Avenue. It's a two-vehicle collision. Both vehicles on the right shoulder, but the 5 northbound through OC. You're very slow from the 133 Laguna Freeway up to Ball Road. Staying in Orange County and Costa Mesa, 55 northbound approaching the 405. A motorcycle accident should be cleared out of lanes to the right shoulder. 55 northbound, though, coming away from the beach. You're slow from the 73 all the way up to the 91. Double trouble on the 15 northbound near Rancho Cucamonga. First past Baseline Road is a stalled truck in the center divider area. That's causing delays starting at Limonite. Up ahead on the North 15, just before the 210, it's a two-vehicle collision clearing from the center divider area. In the heart of Hollywood, 101 southbound before Gower Street, a two-vehicle accident clearing from one of the left lanes. Up ahead, heavy delays on the South 101 heading to the East LA interchange starting at Melrose. Northbound side of the 101 bumper to bumper from Melrose to Universal Center Drive. And good news on the 110 southbound before Academy Road, a stalled truck cleared from the slow lane. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
How many times has your car been in the shop? 2, 3? That could qualify you for a full refund, replacement vehicle, or cash compensation. You pay nothing. It takes just 2 minutes. RefundYourLemon.com. That's RefundYourLemon.com.
The next 3 years, LA will welcome the world with major events unmatched by any destination. This moment is bigger than sports. It's about the impact on our communities, businesses, and people. With the help of the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission foundational partners, Amgen, Archer Aviation, Kaiser Permanente, LA Tourism, and Metro, we're investing in the LA community and inspiring civic pride. Together, let's show the world why we love LA. To learn more about the FIFA World Cup coming this June, visit LosAngelesFWC26.com.
Lose the weight, feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST Medical.
Don't miss the July 4th Fireworks Spectacular with the Beach Boys, July 2nd through July 4th at the Hollywood Bowl with special guest John Stamos. The band celebrates 60 years of iconic music with the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra. For tickets, visit HollywoodBowl.com.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
This September, coming back to Las Vegas, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Tickets go on sale Friday, June 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com.
But starting June 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet?
KFI AM 640. An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. It is the John Kobylt Show. Yes. And we're on from 3 to 6. And after 6 is the podcast, John Kobylt Show on Demand, same as the radio show. Live on YouTube right now. Subscribe or become a member. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show. We have no votes registered since 7 this morning. There was a vote dump at 7 a.m., and that's been it. And we have word that maybe sometime this hour there'll be a new dump, and we'll let you know. It's an atrocious, ridiculous, absurd system that we have. And here to talk about it, Carl DeMaio, the Republican Assemblyman, and also head of ReformCalifornia.com. It's reformcalifornia.org, right?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry about that. Carl, well, first of all, what do you make of the results thus far with Hilton and Pratt?
Well, it's not the worst case, but it's also not the best case. We are seeing a surge of late Democrat voters. I do believe that the mail-in ballots will trend more Democrat than what we're seeing right now in these results. So I have said very clearly from the get-go that there's still a risk of a shutout in the governor's race. Steve Hilton at 26, 27, 28% right now, with Steyer at 19.5%. Could that change? Yes, I would. We put it through our predictive models, and there's about a 20% chance, 1 out of 5, of Hilton getting knocked out of the top 2. The good news is that we have an 80% chance that he's going to make it out of the runoff. But here's the thing. Republicans didn't vote. And when people realize just how bad California is, how bad Los Angeles is, they need to show up and vote. Otherwise, they can't complain about how bad it gets. If all the Republicans had shown up to vote yesterday, we would probably have 2 Republicans in the governor's race. That's not going to be practical, but at least more Republicans should be showing up. So as we head to the November election, we've got to get the message out. turnout is everything in midterm races. It's who shows up that determines who wins.
Hilton, we had him on an hour ago. He said this. Pratt said this last night in his comments to reporters. A lot of people have given up. A lot of Republicans have given up in this state. And because the rule has been by Democrats for so long and so suffocating, and they think the whole system is rigged. So they're just not playing anymore. They're not playing the game. What do you say to them? I mean, they know that they're supposed to vote, and it's the only way to have an effect on changing things, but they have surrendered. How do you get them to unsurrender?
You give them something exciting. And I think voter ID in November is something really exciting. Say Prop 13 is something exciting. I do believe Spencer Pratt is exciting, which is why he's doing so well in LA. And so the traditional recommendation, John, for the last 25 years from the failed, feckless, sellout political consultants on the Republican side and political party leaders has been to candidates, become more vanilla, blend into the woodwork, be more like a Democrat light. And that's not going to get you turnout, folks, because people, if you're going to motivate people to show up and vote, you got to give them something exciting. You've got to give them a real alternative. And so I think Steve Hilton will do that in the November election. I definitely think Spencer Pratt is doing that. And we need to have more principled candidates and campaigns, not the sellout milquetoast. We're going to go along, get along. That has failed us. And no one's going to get excited. No one's going to get motivated to return a ballot and participate in the process. So at Reform California, that's our strategy. Motivate the turnout, do it through grassroots, the word of mouth marketing. And we also make voting easy with that voter guide. And I got to say, we're very pleased that our voter guide has been able to help a lot of candidates statewide. One race here in Southern California, Senate District 40, the Swamp, John, spent $4.5 million against our endorsed candidate. She only had 100,000. $4.5 million trashing her, smearing her, attacking her because she's a principled fighter, Christy Bruce Lane. Guess what? She won. She won convincingly against $4.5 million. And so giving voters something exciting, that motivates turnout and it translates to support.
Well, the last three or so gubernatorial candidates on the Republican side, boring as hell. I couldn't remember. Yeah. I couldn't remember their names. Right. And their campaigns were dry, dull, and there doesn't seem to be dynamic personalities coming out of that party anymore. Up until, Hilton, who came all the way from Great Britain, and then Pratt, total wild card, only because of what happened to him in the fires. There's not compelling personalities or compelling intellects.
There are, but the Swamp has always selected the milquetoast ones for us. And so what we need to do is in these primaries, and I think we've done that this cycle, get the principled fighters to be our representatives, like Sonia Shaw for superintendent of schools. She's marvelous. She's strong. Michael Gates for attorney general. Amazing. The work he did in Huntington Beach on voter ID and stopping Sanctuary City. These are the candidates that offer a real compelling reason to vote. And that's how an opposition party gets out of the opposition and the minority. They have to give people a reason to vote.
Because I really like Pratt and Hilton's campaign because they're talking about the meat and potato stuff that people deal with every day in their lives. And not, esoteric ideologies or partisan talking points. And what Pratt's talking about is the screaming naked drug addict in front of your favorite restaurant, which I see with my own eyes. And it's like, I want to vote for the guy who's going to get rid of him.
Right, and he's talking about it in a way that people absolutely understand, and it resonates with him. When he turned to Raman and said, hey, if you went to one of those underpasses with your so-called, wraparound service nonsense that has failed for 5 years, you'd get stabbed, lady. You get stabbed. And everyone at home laughed. It's kind of sadistic, but it resonated because they all know it's true.
Yeah.
What was the last politician that turned to their opponent and said, if you went to an underpass, you'd get stabbed, lady? I mean, seriously. But it's truth. It's authentic. Yes. And that's what we need more of, John.
I know. Well, I mean, it's a good start, and we'll see what happens. I think the fact that both Pratt and Hilton are dealing with two Democrats, that all these extra Democrat votes will be split up, and that'll water down the odds of Hilton or Pratt being passed up?
I hope so. But again, once we get past the primary, it's a whole new ball game. It's a whole reset, and that means people need to get off the couch and into the fight.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't vote in the primary, make an appointment in your day book. You got to vote in the general election, and do it early. Don't do it late. Don't wait in long lines. Do it early.
All right, Carl, we'll talk again soon. Thanks for coming on again.
Thanks much.
Carl DeMaio. When we come back, about the slow pace of this voting. Have any new votes come in yet?
Daniel Gus just said something that Nithya Raman's her she's in third place.
Yeah.
And so her numbers went down a teeny bit. But no, it's still Mayor Bass. It's still Spencer Pratt.
So
they're pretty much the same. That's the only difference that we've seen so far.
Yeah. So there are a few more votes added to the total, but nothing that's changed the overall.
Here, this just came in.
Oh, just
okay. Let's see. I mean, it says
Deborah just found another vote.
The latest vote tally shows Spencer Pratt remaining firmly in second place, which is what I was just saying, and still on track for a runoff November. Pratt still has about 30% of the vote. Nithya Raman is in third place. She has 22.8% of the vote.
Yeah. All right. So no change.
So no change.
Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The LA County DA's office is investigating new sexual assault allegations against Sean Diddy Combs, and health officials say mosquitoes collected in Newport Beach have tested positive for West Nile virus. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour. We're going to go back to the 101 next.
Summer is heating up, but your wallet doesn't have to. This June, American Vision Windows is offering no interest, no payments for 2 years on new windows and doors. How about that? You pay nothing until 2028. That's far away. New windows don't just help you beat the heat. They lock in comfort year-round. They lower your energy bills, and they give your home a stunning upgrade. And your neighbors will notice. They say, ooh, look at them. I want that. American Vision Windows is 100% employee-owned. It means every person on your project has a personal stake in getting it right. After 25 years and over 1 million windows installed, that accountability has made us the most trusted name in window replacement. Most jobs are done in a day, beautiful new windows by evening, 0 payments until 2028, and the offer ends June 30th. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see website for details. What is that website? Well, it's AmericanVisionWindows.com. Call 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188.
From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash cleared on the 101 in Hollywood.
It was on the South 101 just before Gower. A 2-vehicle collision has cleared from one of the left-hand lanes, but up ahead on the South 101 before Melrose, hearing about a 2-vehicle collision tying up the middle lane. So the South 101, because of the former problem and the current problem, you're slow from Lankershim Boulevard down to the East LA interchange. In Norwalk on the East 91 before Pioneer Boulevard, a 3-vehicle accident is clearing off the right shoulder, but expect reduced speeds starting at Avalon Boulevard. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by Capital One.
3-time U.S. Hockey Olympian Megan Duggan has been announced as the GM of the new Hamilton, Ontario PWHL expansion team. Meantime, Troy Ryan is leaving his role as head coach of the Toronto Scepters to join the San Jose expansion team as the first joint GM head coach in PWHL history. For more women's sports stories, be sure to subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts. Capital One is a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network. With the Venture X card from Capital One, you can enjoy easy-to-use premium benefits like a $300 annual Capital One travel credit when you book through Capital One Travel. Plus, you'll earn unlimited double miles on every purchase. The Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This report is sponsored by MGM Resorts in Las Vegas. Experience Vegas without the guesswork with the all-inclusive experience at Luxor and Excalibur. Your room, meals, drinks with every meal, and a show are covered. One price from $330 plus tax for 2 guests. Vegas simplified. Book now at MGMResorts.com.
LNK's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. Love, lies, family fights, it's all waiting for you now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. LNK's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-506-9295. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-506-9295. That's 800-506-9295. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Here's a question. How many brokers does it take to insure your business? Well, if you're like most business owners, the answer is too many. Multiple policies, multiple applications, and no clear view on how it all fits together. And when questions come up, it's not easy to get the clarity you need. Super Sure changes all of that. One broker for your business insurance, backed by a team that works with you year-round, not just at renewal. And if you've ever stared at a policy, wondering what it actually covers, Super Sure has a fine print fax tool that translates the legal jargon into plain English. That way you know what's covered and what's not. Right now, you can go to supersure.com and get a full report on your current policies with no obligation at all. Find out if you're overinsured, underinsured, or somewhere in between. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Yacht Rock Radio on iHeartRadio drops anchor and goes commercial-free every weekend. Weekends were made for smooth sailing. Yacht Rock Radio's got the soundtrack. Just sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy. The smoothest soft rock from the 70s and 80s.
You're the biggest part of me.
Open the free iHeart app, search Yacht Rock, and set sail.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
You want to clean up the homeless problem? You're going to have to deal with mental health patients. Whether you want roving social workers or old-fashioned asylums, that's going to cost money. How do we fix the problem if we don't have the cash? That fix, tomorrow. Monks and Merrill, on air and on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And we are on from 3 to 6 every day after 6. John Kobylt Show on demand. And right now live on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show, and you could join the party. In fact, for your entertainment, they have a constant scroll of a chat, right? A little chat box along the side, and you could add to that. Robert Diaz is a new member, and well, welcome. Congratulations. Thank you for coming. Robert Diaz, new member here. Now, let me see. You claim that there's new numbers?
It's just a little blurb that the City News Service put out, and it really didn't.
Well, they stopped putting the results on the front page of the LA Times.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Why, do you have new numbers?
I could tell they're new because I stared at this box so many times today, looking for an update, and it was always the same number. Like Karen Bass was at 171,000 votes. Now it's 183. Oh, this is really slow. And Spencer Pratt was 151. Now it's 157, but it's basically the same.
Yeah.
You round off the numbers. It's 35-30. Nithya Raman 22. And now it's up to 63.5% of the vote. I think maybe it was 62.
Yeah, this is snail's pace.
This is really, this is ridiculous. And we talked a lot about this in the last few days, but there's so many things about our election system that have to end. I mean, this top two primary, everybody hates it. I think, the political parties exist for a reason. And if you don't like them, you don't have to join. And you just take your shot in November when everybody gets to vote. But there really ought to be clear choices. I mean, God forbid, and I'd say this for both parties, there really isn't a point to have an election where Javier Baccaria and Tom Steyer are agreeing on 10 out of 11 issues. What's the point of that?
Javier Baccaria.
And the same thing. Let's say the two Republicans got in. So then Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco are going to agree on 10 out of 11 issues. I mean, the whole point of this is generally you have competing points of view. And in this particular era, the competing points of view are wildly different. I mean, there's a stark difference. So let's have a real fight. Let's hash it out. Let people hear exactly what both sides are about. And instead, the risk is, and there was a risk in this cycle of having either two Democrats or two Republicans in, is that you'd end up getting a non-race. What's the point of that? And I hope they get rid of it. There seems to be movement from all sides to scrap this top two system. This was something that came out of Schwarzenegger's bowels as a horrible idea. And now the other thing that's got to go is whatever the hell is going on that takes 3 weeks to count. This should stop. Nate Silver is a political analyst. You may remember him. He's been on television many times over the last 10 years. He had his own data analysis website that made him a lot of money. And so he's considered an expert in the field, even though he's wrong a lot. But that's how you become an expert. And he said the fact that California elections can't be resolved for weeks is kind of insane and not common in other electoral systems around the world. Like, honestly, it's going to take us several weeks to tell you won the election. That is failed state bleep and should be more stigmatized. The fact that it's tolerated is too bad. It's a textbook example of learned helplessness. And there is a lot of learned helplessness here. People don't vote because they feel like the same progressive whack jobs are going to win. People don't vote because their party might get locked out of the top two primary. People don't vote because it's going to take 3 weeks anyway. And when you take 3 weeks, much of the public, including me, assumes there's funny business going on. I can't prove it. I don't have evidence other than the vote totals got really suspicious for certain candidates. And the surges the last few years have been really suspicious. And I don't care how many experts the LA Times gets or how many law professors. I'm suspicious. I don't believe it. Because I looked, there must have been, 8, 10 states that had elections yesterday for governor, primaries. And I looked late last night. And every state, 95 to 99% of the vote was in. Every state. And then California was at 54%. That's stupid. That's intolerable, unforgivable, ridiculous. In the high-tech world we are in, the tech capital of the world, and it takes 3 weeks to count the ballots, and yes, that makes me suspicious. Why are they clinging on to this system? Why don't they have voter ID? Why do we have hundreds of thousands of dead people on the voting rolls? Why do we have hundreds of thousands of people who moved away? Why do we have hundreds of thousands of people who haven't voted for 10 or 15 or 20 years and we don't know why? Is it because they lost interest or they're dead or they moved away or maybe they moved away and died? But the other states don't have this. Why do we have this? And everybody says, well, you don't understand. It's because we have this system where, it's mailed in and then the signature has to be inside. I don't care about your problems. I always like guys who run companies and they don't listen to employees explaining why there was a failure. And it's like, I don't want to hear your problems. Your job is to succeed, not to fail. Figure it out. If you can't figure it out, we'll get somebody else. Should be the same thing here. Count the freaking votes. Oh, and one of the laws they have is, they'll count a vote if it shows up 7 days later. The hell is that? It doesn't take 7 days for a vote to arrive from anywhere in California, as long as it's a valid postmark. Well, what's a valid postmark? What's the definition of that? So that's a load of crap, 7 days. How about 2 days? Better yet, go back to the old system. Worked really well. You care? Show up. You care? Show up and vote. and double the number of voting precincts. Oh, we don't have the money. Yes, you have the money. You've had $17 billion for the bullet train that doesn't exist. You got the money to get some new precincts. More coming up. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Republican Steve Hilton and Democrat Javier Becerra appear to be heading for a runoff election in November. Returns are still being counted, as you've been hearing. But right now, the latest count is Hilton has 27.8% of the vote as of this afternoon. Becerra has 25.4%. This is according to the California Secretary of State's office. LA Mayor Bass is gearing up for a runoff in November against former reality TV actor Spencer Pratt. He's about 30% of the vote so far to Bass's 35%. Pratt says he's going to spend the next several months preparing for the general election.
Learn everything I need to learn, build my teams, show all the experience I'm going to surround myself with, because that's a concern people have. Oh, he has no experience. I'm going to build that experience around.
City Councilwoman Nithya Raman, who ran for mayor on her experience, is in third place. The news is brought to you by Sellers Advantage. The LA County DA's office is reviewing 2 sexual assault cases against Sean Diddy Combs. Both allegations involve the same victim. Investigators with the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Department first presented the cases to prosecutors in 2025. A spokesperson for the DA's office declined to comment on when these incidents took place or why it's taken 9 months to look into pressing charges. A spokesperson for Combs has also declined to comment. A new United Nations University report says the environmental footprint of data centers already rivals some of the world's largest countries.
The UN report predicts that data centers' water and energy use and pollution will double in just 4 years as use of artificial intelligence grows. The report found that last year, global data centers used 448 trillion watt hours of electricity, and that electricity use produced about 208 million tons of carbon dioxide, about the same amount as Argentina. The study focused on energy use and didn't examine the massive amount of water used to cool data centers. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
Health officials say mosquitoes collected in Newport Beach have tested positive for West Nile virus. They say it's the first confirmed detection of the virus in Orange County this year. The Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District says the infected mosquitoes were found in an area bounded by Campus Drive, Jamboree Road, State Route 73, and John Wayne Airport. President Trump is pushing back on acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's announcement to Congress that the anti-weaponization fund would be permanently scrapped. Trump is blaming a judge for ruling against it.
I'm one of them. They raided my house, Mar-a-Lago. That never happened. Nobody ever thought of a thing like that. It turned out that it was a total fake. Everything about it was fake and corrupt.
Trump also says he thinks Blanche will be the next U.S. Attorney General. New stats from payroll processor ADP show finding a job was a little easier last month. ABC's Jim Ryan says the company's data show a record number of new private sector positions were created in May.
The ADP National Employment Report counted a record 122,000 new positions created in May, with employers of all sizes hiring.
ADP says small companies with fewer than 20 employees accounted for 49,000 of the new jobs. Heading to the 73 next.
I told you about Byrna. They want to get you ready for summer. They're offering $100 off the Byrna LE Gen 2. It's BYRNA.com, Byrna.com, and get yours while supplies last. Byrna.com. Now, what is Byrna? Well, you might already own a gun, but you pull that trigger, and now you got a lot of financial, legal, and emotional issues to deal with. And Byrna is a smarter option. Because the FBI says well less than 1% of all altercations require a lethal response. It's like 0.01%. So it's not necessary the vast, vast majority of the time. You get a Byrna launcher. It has powerful deterrents like tear gas, kinetic rounds, 60-foot range, and one shot incapacitates an attacker for up to 40 minutes. No permits or background checks needed. Byrna is offering $100 off the Byrna LE Gen 2. Visit Byrna.com, BYRNA.com, to get yours while supplies last. Byrna.com.
Southland weather from KFI. We have the June gloom back again in the morning. Then it will be sunny tomorrow. Highs mid-70s to low 80s, metro LA. Mid-80s to low 90s in the valleys and the high desert. Windy again in the high desert. Upper 60s to low 70s for the beaches. Mid to upper 70s inland OC. Upper 80s to mid-90s and windy in the IE. Right now, 71 in San Juan Capistrano, and it's 76 in Staten. Crash on the 73 in Costa Mesa.
That's the Corona Del Mar Freeway, northbound side of the 73, past the 55 freeway. It's a two-vehicle collision, clearing from lanes. You're backed up on the North 73 from Newport Coast Drive. 55 northbound, just before Chapman Avenue in the city of Orange. It's a four-vehicle crash. It's clearing from the center divider, but you're slow from the 22. Not far from the Orange Crush interchange. 57 southbound, approaching Orangewood Avenue. It's an accident involving a couple of cars and a big rig. Everything clearing off the right shoulder. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
June gloom may keep things cool, but termites never stop. Termite droppings or discarded wings are signs of an active infestation. Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free written inspection. Pacific Coast Termite uses orange oil and Ultraset. No tenting, no move out, and no poisonous gas. Call now and save 10% on termite services. Plus, get a free 2-year warranty. Ask about 90-day same-as-cash financing on approved credit. Call 800-PACIFIC. That's 800-PACIFIC for Pacific Coast Termite. Some restrictions apply.
Mario Lopez, here are so many things, big and little, make you uniquely you. Your hobbies, your dreams, career, family, all kinds of stuff. Addiction to drugs, including opioids and stimulants, can strip these away from you. Recover your life. Choose treatment for drug addiction and get back to what matters most. Find a provider and a proven treatment option that's right for you. Recover you at ChooseChangeCA.org. Recover your life. ChooseChangeCA.org.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST Medical.
OPO Injury Lawyers, rooted in this community, relentless in justice. OPOLaw.com.
In this edition of the Marketer's Report, Scott Hinchelwood, a director at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, talks about the power of live events.
We've been working with iHeart now going back to your beginning, and then we have over 60 iHeart station partners out there telling our story, and it really helps drive that St. Jude mission home and share our patients and share our mission.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live events, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Voters are listening to the radio, and they're really listening. If you're running for office, radio gets your message heard, not scrolled past. Reach communities everywhere and be on the air in just 48 hours. Go to winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
KFI.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
Can't find AM 640 or stimulating talk radio, the John Kobylt Show. We're on every day, 3 to 6 after 6 o'clock. John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And we're on YouTube Live. Go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. So during the commercial, I was looking to see how many votes actually came in. So Karen Bass got an extra 12,000 votes, and Raman got an extra 9,000, and Pratt got an extra 7,000. So this was definitely a non-Pratt district. But out of the non-Pratt votes, Bass got 60% of them. And that's what's going to make it difficult for Raman to catch up, because even in districts where Pratt is not strong, Raman isn't all that strong either. She only got a little bit more than Pratt did. So Pratt and Raman are splitting the anti-Bass vote in this particular district, and Bass and Raman are splitting the non-Pratt vote. And because it's going three ways, Raman can't get a whole lot of momentum. Because you may remember that Caruso was up by about 5 points on election night 4 years ago, and then he ended up losing by, I don't know, 9 or 10. And everybody said, "Oh, that could happen this time." It's hard for it to happen this time. Pratt's got a bigger lead. I think he's got a more passionate following. And now you have not just Bass, but Bass and Raman splitting up the opposition vote. There's a big difference. But I was looking at I was looking at the other states. I'd mentioned that, like, right now in LA, where it's about 66% of the vote, and we only gained a half a point. And then statewide, we've got 58% of the vote in. 58%. And this is now, since the polls closed, almost 21 hours. But here are the other states that voted yesterday. Iowa, they have over 95% of the precincts in. Montana, over 95% across all races. New Jersey, because you're saying, well, there aren't any people living in Montana. Oh, New Jersey's very densely populated. That's where I grew up. They have over 95% reporting. Okay? And they got a very Democratic left-wing government. New Mexico, over 95% reporting. South Dakota, same thing, over 95%. So there you go. You got a sample there of 5 states, over 95%. And then California, we got, I think, an extra 20-some thousand votes in LA. And everybody wants to hold a party. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, you should see new votes came in. It was first time in 10 hours. Why are you bouncing so much in your seat?
I told you that I am exercising.
Do you have something plugged in there?
No, it's just my legs.
All
I'm
right.
trying to strengthen my core.
All right.
Yeah, I'm doing exercises.
Your core is fine.
It needs to be strengthened.
Here is good news. And I know you'll be interested in this. Deborah hates sales taxes because they drive up the cost of her shoes.
That's not the only reason.
It's the main reason. Because they're expensive enough. You don't need another 10% on that. There was something yesterday, and I don't know why we didn't talk about this more. Measure ER. And this was a scam that they wanted to raise the sales tax a half cent. You know, a temporary tax. It was going to expire in 5 years. Yeah, right. These liars. So it's going to raise sales tax 0.5%, and it was going to go towards health care funding. Vague healthcare funding, right? Maybe it would go for hospice care. And the voters rejected it, 53-47. An actual, what is really terrifying, that 47% of LA County was willing to add another half cent, which would have taken the base tax up to 10.25, and even higher in some cities, over 11, because a city can add more. This is a county tax. But the majority said no. Finally, no. Because you notice how they made it measure ER. It's like, emergency room? You want the emergency rooms funded? Yeah, I want the emergency rooms funded for all the illegal aliens. Sure I do. Because we don't pay enough for that. San Francisco voted against the tax. And this is one of those only in San Francisco ideas. Measure D. It was going to tax overpaid CEOs. Who the hell are you to decide who's overpaid and that they need money confiscated? Overpaid CEOs? I have an idea. Why don't you get on the board of a company and vote against any pay raises for the CEO? That's how you do it. Or I'll become a shareholder. And you could vote against a public company CEO. But you're just some slob sitting in your underwear, banging away on your keyboard on social media about how terrible about how terrible CEOs are, and rich people, and billionaires, and income inequality, and blah, 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 blah. Well, in San Francisco, that tax lost 55 to 45. So they're not going to tax overpaid CEOs. Geez, even progressives are getting sick of the taxes. Who knew? By the way, Elon Musk is about to become a trillionaire. His SpaceX is going public. They're having an IPO. And I'm sure there's going to be people running in the street naked, screaming, howling over all the money that he's worth. But you didn't start any space rocket companies, did you? No, you didn't. Because you're a failure and a loser, and you spend your life screaming about other people's success, and then you want to take their money. Well, that's a choice. That's one way to go about living. I like it. Elon Musk. He's got a rocket company that actually is, sends rockets up into space and rescues astronauts who are stranded by companies whose spacecraft failed. Like when he sent one of his spaceships to retrieve the astronauts who got stuck on that Boeing trip. Remember? He's got that. He's got Tesla. He's got Twitter, which he renamed X. He's got Starlink. I want to get one of those. Carry on Starlink. It's not that much money. And then you got a satellite connection to the internet all over the world. You can go in the jungle, in the forest, on a mountaintop, traveling around. These are great companies, really useful products. And, he's got too much money. All right, what did you do, buddy? Did you do anything other than cash your food stamps? Jackasses. San Diego. They had a tax, vacant second homes. Like if you have a second home, you're supposed to live in it. Well, then your first home would be vacant. Or you're supposed to rent it. Well, if I don't want to rent it, because I want to go there whenever I want. I don't have to chase out renters. Not your business. I bought it. You didn't. My home with my money. This is a Zoran Mamdani invention. Taxing people's second homes if they're not in them enough, according to his standards. Well, that lost. It was Measure A, 58-42. So that lost in San Diego. The overpaid CEO tax lost in San Francisco. And in LA County, this fake tax for healthcare, that lost as well. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Socialite Rebecca Grossman and former Dodger Scott Erickson have been found negligent in the deaths of two boys who were fatally hit by Grossman's car in Westlake Village. A proposed temporary half-cent sales tax in LA County appears to be headed for defeat. Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow. Highs upper 60s to mid-90s. This report brought to you by California Baptist University. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Back to the 91 in Norwalk.
Eastbound side of the 91 before Pioneer Boulevard. Good news. An earlier three-vehicle collision cleared completely off the freeway, but you do have reduced speeds on the East Artesia Freeway starting at the 110. 10 eastbound before Fremont Avenue with two vehicle accidents on the right-hand shoulder, and the East 10 through the San Gabriel Valley. You're slow from City Terrace Drive down to Azusa Avenue. 105 eastbound before the 605, a two-vehicle wreck clearing off the right shoulder, but the East 105 very slow from LAX to Garfield. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
If you're living with constant knee pain and you're dreading surgery, which you should, and you're looking at a long recovery, no fun. Let me tell you about Hoag Orthopedic Institute. Their award-winning knee specialists are changing how knee pain is treated. They offer the most advanced, minimally invasive procedures for faster recovery, better movement, and the care is personalized using the most cutting-edge techniques, including robotic-assisted knee replacement, state-of-the-art cartilage restoration. You get up, get active, and you're going to move without missing months of your life. And they accept most PPO and Medicare insurance plans. So call 800-919-2000 or visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com. That's H-O-A-G, HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com. Locations throughout Southern California, proudly physician-owned. That's Hoag orthopedicinstitute.com. Call 800-919-2000.
California Baptist University, California's largest Christian university, offers more ways to move forward. From pre-college credit for high school students to bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees, with flexible courses starting every 8 weeks. Apply today at calbaptist.edu.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
L&K's Therapy Thursday is a podcast. The stories are real, the drama is messy, and the advice is life-changing. Catch it now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts. L&K's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 30% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com, 800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
Sometimes running a successful commercial contracting business means having too many mundane tasks to manage and too little time to keep your business growing. ServiceTitan offers AI-powered tools and automations that seamlessly connect and orchestrate your workflow, start to finish. From the back office to the field, across every job, every site, and every task. ServiceTitan gives commercial contractors powerful features to boost efficiency and take their businesses to the next level. ServiceTitan, AI for the trades. Visit servicetitan.com today to learn more.
Gearing up for summer travel? Then it's time to put that old car in your driveway to good use. Hey, it's Conway, and here's the deal. Donate your car to Cars for Kids in just 2 minutes. Go to carsforkids.org or phone them up, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K. Any condition, they'll take it and tow it for free. You'll get a tax deduction, a 3-day, 2-night hotel stay to use this summer. 2 minutes, free pickup, and a free vacation? Wow. Donate your car today at carsforkids.org or call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K.
Wake Up Call with Amy King.
KFI Radio, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Amy King with KFI's Wake Up Call. How do you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
The Eagle has landed, and its name is Amy King.
Wake Up Call with Amy King. Live 5 to 6 a.m. on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. 48 countries.
Only one winner.
Yes. iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Live. Go! Every unforgettable moment wherever you are. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeartRadio app.
The world will be listening. KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, boomerang kids are the new normal. No matter how far and how hard you throw your kids, they're coming right back. There's a new study that says 44% of U.S. parents with adult children ages 18 to 35 say a child has moved back home at some point. Yeah, I'm kind of sick of that one myself, too. That's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 on the next Bill Handel Show.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Moist line for Friday. Well, you probably had a belly full of these election returns. 877-MOIST-86. Let it out. 877-MOIST-86. Or use the talkback feature in the iHeartRadio app. You call, you leave a message. We play back the best stuff twice on Friday at 5:20 and 5:50. And we're live on YouTube. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show. All right, Michael Gates is coming on at 5:30, and he is running for. He ran for Attorney General, and we'll talk to him about the outcome of the race against Rob Bonta and some others. So Michael Gates coming up on 5:30. This is astonishing how this keeps going on, and nobody stops them. The California High-Speed Rail Board on Monday approved a contract to spend another $3.5 billion. Another $3.5 billion. It's a track and systems construction contract. And the board passed it without any opposition. Nobody objected. $3.5 billion? Sure. Here's the money. The company is called Kiewit, Stacy, Whitbeck, Herzog. All four of them. $3.5 billion contract to lay track and install electrical systems. This is as soon as they had appointed a new chairman of the authority, Steve Kawa. We talked about him earlier this week. Steve Kawa is this longtime hack for Newsom. He's been around working with Newsom since the 1990s, since before he was mayor of San Francisco. And listen to this pompous buffoon. He's the one who was prattling about transparency, and then Ashley Zavala started chasing him to see if she could interview him, and he wouldn't talk. Kawa says, I've worked for the governor since the 1990s. Imagine 30 years of talking to Gavin Newsom. And he hasn't blown his brains out. That's something else. We've worked on many important issues and programs together. Yeah, right. I know how important high-speed rail is to him. And his belief that the project will result in many benefits and a brighter future for California. I share that belief. This is the project that's going to connect some empty land 5 miles outside of Merced with some empty land 5 miles outside of Bakersfield. And now we're spending another $3 billion to connect those two empty parcels. One guy on the board, Jeffrey Worth, objected to this because there was only one bidder on the project. And this project's already had plenty of delays and plenty of cost increases. Jeffrey Worth said, last month I was told there was only one bidder that could bid. Now we're going to lock ourselves into a single bidder for $3.5 billion with one bid? Help me decide why that's a prudent use of taxpayer dollars. This is not a kitchen remodel, right? I mean, these are massive contracts. Now there's one guy objecting after all this time. Where was this guy? Where was this guy for the first $17 billion that was flushed into the sewer system? The total cost is now projected as $231 billion. Now, Steve Hilton has made it clear he becomes governor. That's it. Project over. Wouldn't you agree with that? Unless you're part of these corrupt unions or part of the corrupt high-speed rail board, do you think we ought to spend $231 billion? I mean, this is really important. We've already spent a tremendous amount of money. No end in sight. Clearly, it's corruption. Clearly, it's being stolen. Clearly, they don't care. I hope Hilton makes a big deal about it. Becerra wants to keep it going. Why would you vote for a guy who wants to spend more money on high-speed rail? It's like spending money on some kind of fantasy. Well, I'm just baffled by all this. All right, we got more coming up. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Negligent. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Co-founder of the Grossman Burn Foundation, Rebecca Grossman, and former Dodger Scott Erickson have been found negligent in the case of two brothers who were hit and killed while crossing the street in Westlake Village in 2020. A jury has awarded the Iskander family more than $170 million. The family filed a lawsuit alleging Grossman and Erickson had been drinking before they raced on the street when Grossman hit the young boys. LA Mayor Bass and former reality TV personality Spencer Pratt are headed for a runoff in November. Bass won the most votes in last night's primary ahead of Pratt, while Councilwoman Nithya Raman came in third. Associate Professor of Political Science at Cal State University Dominguez Hills, Christopher Hallenbrook, tells KFI he's not surprised with Pratt's numbers.
He's definitely, by talking about the fires and other things, really appealing to a lot of people, appealing to a lot of frustration with the mayor.
Republican Steve Hilton and Democrat Javier Becerra appear to be heading for a November runoff election in the governor's race. With returns still being counted statewide, Hilton has 27.8% as of this afternoon. Becerra had 25.4%. This is according to the California Secretary of State's office. LA County Sheriff Luna is headed for a rematch with former Sheriff Villanueva in the race to elect a new sheriff. Luna unseated Villanueva in 2022. State Senator Maria Elena Durazo appears headed to victory in the race to replace termed-out Hilda Solis on the Board of Supervisors. A proposed half-cent sales tax to fund healthcare services impacted by federal funding cuts looks to have failed. And Republicans Ken Calvert and Young Kim will have a runoff in November to determine who represents the newly drawn 40th congressional district. Two candidates with two very different visions for schools in California will be heading back to the ballot in November.
Republican Sonia Shaw and Democrat Richard Barrera are expected to advance in the race for state superintendent. Shaw has built her campaign around parental rights, requiring schools to notify parents about student gender identity issues and banning transgender athletes from girls' sports.
You can go with status quo, or you can go with the mom that's ready to continue to fight the good fight here in California.
Barrera opposes those policies, arguing they don't protect LGBTQ students.
I think these divisive culture war issues are really a distraction.
Both candidates agree schools need improvement, but they disagree sharply on how to get there. Heather Brooker, KFI News.
The LA County DA's office is reviewing some sexual assault cases against Sean Diddy Combs.
There are two allegations of sexual assault, both involving the same victim. Investigators with LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Department first presented the cases to prosecutors in September 2025. A spokesman for the DA's office declined to comment on when the incidents took place or why it's taken 9 months to look into pressing charges. A spokesman for Combs has also declined to comment. Eileen Gonzalez, KFI News.
Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen has been questioned by the House Homeland Security Committee. ICE enforcement operations took up most of the questioning. California Democratic Congressman Lou Correa asked Mullen whether he's committed to restart protections for DACA recipients.
Let's work on that.
I'll work with you on it, but it has to
and
be
even
on
the
a
President Trump, I believe, supports this. So let's work on this.
Congressman, I will work on it.
Mullen says the fastest way to fix the problem is for Congress to pass something on it. High fuel costs have prompted a major airline to cut flights out of LAX.
With the war with Iran driving fuel prices up, American Airlines says it's cutting 6 North American routes, 4 of them nonstop flights from LAX to Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, and Washington Dulles. KTLA reports the cuts are effective August 5th to October 5th, and American will offer affected customers alternative travel arrangements or refunds in line with their policy. You can still fly American to those locations, but it'll require a connection now. Reuters reports the airline expects its jet fuel bill to rise more than $4 billion this year. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
The U.S. and Iran have traded more strikes, with the Pentagon saying it shot down several Iranian drones targeting U.S. forces in Kuwait. ABC's Karen Travers says Iran hit an airport in Kuwait.
The president claimed negotiations with Iran are going, quote, very well, and that a deal could be reached this weekend. But at the same time, he also said it may not happen.
Trump says the U.S. had hit Iran hard and Iran was responding. And Meta says it has fixed an issue that made it really easy for hackers to take over famous Instagram accounts.
Victims appear to include a former Meta employee turned security researcher, the chief master sergeant of the U.S. Space Force, and the Obama White House account. The hackers used a virtual private network, or VPN, to bypass automatic account protections, then asked Meta's customer service AI chatbot to add a new email address to the account. The bot then sent a code which allowed the hacker to reset the password, and take control of the account. Meta says the security flaw has been fixed, but it highlights the risk of using artificial intelligence to handle important business functions. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
Southland weather from KFI. June gloom back in the morning. Then it will be sunny. Highs mid-70s to low 80s. Metro LA. Mid-80s to low 90s in the valleys and the high desert. Windy again for the high desert. Upper 60s to low 70s at the beaches. Mid to upper 70s inland OC. Upper 80s to mid-90s and windy in the IE. Right now 69 in Dana Point. 75 in Anaheim. 80 in Diamond Bar, and it's 79 in Simi Valley. The KFI Financial Update brought to you by SuperSure, supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed down today, 621. S&P 500 down 56, and NASDAQ down 240. We're going to take a look at a crash on the 5 in Tustin.
On the southbound side of the 5, just before Newport Avenue, it's a 3-vehicle collision. All 3 vehicles on the right shoulder, but the South 5 through OC, you're slow from the Disneyland area down to Red Hill Avenue. Staying in Orange County and Costa Mesa, 73 northbound past the 55, a 2-vehicle crash, clearing from lanes, and you're still slow, leaving Newport Beach, starting right around Bison Avenue. Also in Orange County, in the city of Orange, 55 northbound before Chapman Avenue, a 4-vehicle crash, clearing from the center divider. 55 north, continuous delays from the 73 up to the 91. And right near the Orange Crush interchange, 57 southbound just before Orangewood Avenue, an accident involving a big rig and a couple of cars clearing off the right shoulder. 57 south, though, you're backed up from Lincoln Avenue. 605 northbound just past Del Amo Boulevard. Some wood, glass, and metal debris cleared from lanes of the roadway. Traffic stop and go on the north 605 between Telegraph Road and Valley Boulevard. Heading the other direction, you have delays on the south 605 from the 60 to the 5 freeway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
After a major accident, one question comes to mind. What happens next? That's where Wilshire Law Firm comes in. With over 100 attorneys, we've helped recover more than $2 billion for our clients. Let the firm that's been recognized as #1 in personal injury settlements fight for the compensation you deserve. That's what happens next. For a free consultation 24/7, call Wilshire Law Firm, 1-800-ABCDEFG. Wilshire Law Firm won more top 100 personal injury settlements in 2024 than any other law firm in California, as reported by TopVerdict.com. Wilshire Law Firm is in LA.
Mario Lopez, here are so many things, big and little, make you uniquely you. Your hobbies, your dreams, career, family, all kinds of stuff. Addiction to drugs, including opioids and stimulants, can strip these away from you. Recover your life. Choose treatment for drug addiction and get back to what matters most. Find a provider and a proven treatment option that's right for you. Recover you at ChooseChangeCA.org. Recover your life. ChooseChangeCA.org.
Just Food for Dogs, the #1 vet-recommended fresh dog food. Made right here in LA.
Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
This September, coming back to Las Vegas, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Tickets go on sale Friday, June 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com.
But starting June 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet? KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We're on every day, 3 to 6. After 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand, the podcast, just like the radio show. And then we're live on YouTube now. Whole show's on YouTube these days. And you go to youtube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. You can subscribe, become a member, just watch if you want. And we're going to have Michael Gates on coming up after 5:30. Michael Gates is the Republican running against Rob Bonta, that corrupt California Attorney General. In the first round, Bonta was ahead of Gates by 12 points, but there were 2 other people splitting the vote up. So they're going to go to a runoff. Gates gets another crack at Bonta. See how this next round will be different than the last round. Michael Gates, he's was the city manager from Huntington Beach. We had him on many times as he was battling Newsom and Bonta over the years, and most recently with the Trump Justice Department. I was looking at the number of votes that came in for the mayor's race, And after 10 hours, all they coughed up was 25,000 votes. And the percentage of votes went from 65.1 to 65.5 percentage reporting. What are they doing there?
You think yours was counted yet?
I went in person on Sunday.
Oh,
that should have been part of the automatic tally from the machine. I didn't mail it in. I didn't mail it. You know when they certify the election? July the 10th. You know how much
I mailed mine in.
You did?
Yeah, so I don't think it was counted yet. Sorry. But I mailed it in about a week in advance.
Did they send you a text saying they've counted it?
No, I got a text saying I don't know if it was spam though, because it seemed weird that they still didn't receive anything. But it wasn't. I think that was spam. So I can go and look it up.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I remember I think I might have mailed in a ballot once, and they sent me an acknowledgement that we got it, but that was only because of severe time pressure, or maybe I was out of town or something. But here's a reason why. Oh my God, do I have to keep explaining this? Why you can't keep voting for these same people over and over again. The legacy of Gavin Newsom is he loaded up the parole board with people who were obsessed with releasing violent sexual deviants and perverts. Violent sexual deviants who go after little children. And Newsom allows all this to happen because these things go past his desk for approval and he gives it to them. So you remember the David Allen Funston case, which we talked about several times earlier this year. This guy kidnapped, beat up, and raped 5 little children under the age of 7. And the parole board released the guy. Funston, and we read this transcript on the air, told the parole board that, well, he's got a method now. When he gets the urge, 2 things he does. He tells himself, I'm not going to do that. You know, whatever depraved, violent, sexual fantasy that he has towards an 8-year-old girl. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Second thing is he splashes his face with cold water. And the parole board said, yeah, okay, that's a good plan. We'll let you go. Now, he got reeled back into jail because there was another case from 30 years ago that he'd never been tried for. So they used that to rearrest him almost immediately. And there have been a number of these cases. David Allen Funston, Roberto Antonio de Trinidad, Gregory Lee Vogelsang. And parole board commissioners who let these violent sexual deviants go, 5 of them, Newsom reappointed all of them. This is why when he does his phony baloney, well, you know, I have children too. I have 4 children. I have daughters. But other people's daughters, he lets these sexual monsters out. Shannon Grove says, our work to combat human trafficking and protect California's children is undermined when parole commissioners prioritize sympathy for predators over their core duty to protect the public. And here are the names of these pervert protectors. William Muniz, Michael Ruff, Rosalind Sargent Burns, Mary Thornton, and Jack Weiss. That's not the same Jack Weiss that used to be a councilman here, is he? The hell? I don't know. Democrats stopped Grove from reading excerpts from Funston's parole board hearing. Like what I had just told you, where he admitted he still had sexual desires for 8-year-old girls. They don't allow you to speak out loud. I see this as a new tactic. These people are crazy. These people are so crazy. This story's from the Post. But why this isn't splattered over every newscast, even Children who get beat up and raped don't get priority from news organizations anymore. Funston had gotten 20 years plus 3 life terms. 3 years, 20 years plus 3 life terms. And they let him out at the age of 67. He admitted he had pedophilic fantasies as recently as 2021. Grove actually said, she kept talking while they were trying to shut her down. She said, hey, part of his plan is to simply splash water on his face. Vogelsang was sentenced to 355 years to life for molesting young boys. 355 years. And these parole board members let him go. And Newsom agreed. And Newsom reappointed them. And then when you say, hey, why didn't you vote for somebody different? Somebody who's not enthralled with child rapists? Oh, are you MAGA? Hey, you must vote for Trump. Huh? Wow. That is sick. This parole board is made up of sick pervert lovers. They are sick pervert lovers. I think there's 21 people on the board. This other guy, Roberto de Trinidad, committed a home invasion and rape. And he never even completed sex offender treatment. Not that that works, but they gave him parole anyway. He claimed during a trial that it was consensual, but later admitted he lied. De Trinidad said, that was like my Super Bowl of crime that night. That was the thing. You're not going to believe this line. This was going to be the thing that made me finally feel like a man. And the parole board let him go, and Newsom reappointed him. These are such disgusting people. I'm afraid to look at the results to see how many of them made it through the primary. Wow, this is a sick state. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The cost of California's high-speed rail project has gone up again, and a packed passenger jet has come dangerously close to another plane in Florida. We will have more at the bottom of the hour. We're going to check out the 5 next.
Time to sell your home? Maybe you want to downsize or move, or you inherited a home that you don't want to hang on to. Whatever your reason, you call Seller's Advantage. They've been buying homes for decades. They buy as is for cash. They can close in days. You don't have to spend money on repairs or preparing your home to be shown or having people tromping in and out. So if it's time to sell your home, you call Seller's Advantage, a free, no-obligation offer. The number is 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-2747, or go to sellersadvantage.com.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 01961658. Providence Realty DRE number 01915212.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center, Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny tomorrow, highs ranging from the upper 60s to the mid-90s. This report brought to you by Allstate. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 5 in Pacoima.
Southbound side of the 5 at Van Nuys Boulevard, a 2-vehicle collision is blocking the slow lane. Now up ahead on the 5 southbound, seeing heavy delays from Los Feliz Boulevard down to the East LA interchange. Have a problem on a freeway we don't talk about that much, and that's the Marina Freeway. Eastbound side of the 90 past Centinela Avenue, you have a 3-vehicle wreck blocking the 2 left-hand lanes. 91 eastbound, right at Downey Avenue, a large pothole opened up in one of the left lanes of the roadway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green's biggest sale of the year is here, so you can stop wasting your weekends doing your own lawn care. Sign up to get 50% off lawn care this summer and let the pros do the work. Sign up at truegreen.com by June 23rd to get 50% off this summer. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
A family office is a team built to handle the three biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Falcon Stadium hosts a historic America 250 celebration on Saturday, June 20th. Experience PBR Space Cowboys, presented by the United States Space Force. Family-friendly fan zones, military tributes, flyovers, parachute landings, and a spectacular drone finale. Enjoy a live concert with Grammy Award winner Tim McGraw and multi-platinum artist Chris Jansen. Tickets on sale now at PBR.com.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Summer's heating up, but your wallet, doesn't have to. With American Vision Windows, new windows and doors don't have to cost you a thing until 2028. Book this June and pay nothing for 2 years. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com or call them at 888-686-8249, 888-686-8249. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. The offer ends June 30th.
I'm Michelle McPhee, and in my new podcast, Kingdom of Fraud, I'm unraveling the strangest criminal alliance I've ever reported on. A polygamist from Utah and an LA Armenian businessman.
$1 billion fraud.
But how long can this alliance last?
Is somebody coming after me?
Search Kingdom of Fraud on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. We're on from 3 to 6. After 6, John Kobylt Show on demand. Live on YouTube right now. I'm trying to find new numbers. I imagine people are tuning in, getting off work, and they wonder, is there any change?
I have a little something for you.
What, 5, 10, 15 votes?
LA County Registrar Recorder County Clerk's Office says an estimated 713,180 ballots from yesterday's election still remain to be counted.
713,000. That's for the whole county?
180, correct.
Okay, not for the city.
No.
For the county.
The next update of the vote tally is expected tomorrow afternoon.
That's going to take them 2 years to get through. 713,000? That's well, what are they doing? Don't they hire extra people to do this? Like, they don't care. They really don't care. You know, I recently spoke with somebody who used to be high up in local government. Somebody whose name you'd recognize. And I asked them, why did they let, the city go to hell like this? Meaning current administration. And he looked at me and he said, they don't care. I go, that's it? He goes, yeah, that's it. They don't care. Because, and this is me talking, they get away with it. There's no penalty. Nobody did more damage to Los Angeles than Karen Bass. She actually burned down an entire section of LA, a whole town of Palisades. And she's allowed all these mental patients and drug addicts to run wild. And still got 35% of the vote. Still. Now, I'm telling you, this is good news. I mentioned this before. 65% did not vote for her. 65% does not like the job she did. 65% does not like her. Very consistent number. It's all the same people. Don't like her, don't like the job she did, didn't vote for her yesterday. So that's what Pratt's down by 5 points, and 65%, because you could also say, well, 70% did vote for Pratt. I go, yeah, but he has zero baggage. He didn't burn down the Palisades, and he's the victim of the Palisades. And he's explained very clearly how a Spencer Pratt administration is simply not going to tolerate tens of thousands of people dying in the streets. Is going to get them help. That's another thing. You add up the death count, right? There's 12 in the Palisades, but it's dwarfed by the 2,000 a year that die in the street. It's about 6,000 people died in the street under Karen Bass. Still gets 35% of the vote. How many people are responsible? And she is responsible because other cities don't allow you to live on the street, so you can't die on the street. So how many people are responsible for, I don't know, 6,000 deaths? 7,000 deaths since we're halfway through 2026. Not to mention, what was it, 15, 16, 17,000 buildings in the Palisades? And then last night, she was whooping and hollering and screaming and cheering about all the wonderful things she's going to do. And do you see the crowd around her? It's all these dumpy, frumpy government workers and union workers. It's like some weird cult. And they're all cheering like those 15,000 buildings didn't burn to the ground, those 6,000 people didn't die, that there aren't insane people running in the streets, naked, screaming, injecting drugs, snorting meth with all the materials that we paid for. I notice what goes on in this era now is people like Bass and Newsom simply don't acknowledge what's going on. They don't respond. They don't admit to it. They don't talk to anybody. And very helpful television and print media in town don't question them about it. Well, I can't imagine. Like when a reporter does do that, what happens to them? Do they get taken off the assignments? Are they told to go home, suspended, fired? What happens when a reporter starts asking Karen Bass about all the damage she's done and all the failures? Nobody does. Even in the debate, Pratt had to bring all that stuff. Even those anchors at Channel 4 wouldn't do it. And they had Bass standing there. And they cover every day all the atrocities that go on in L.A. And they wouldn't really challenge her. It was Pratt that kept bringing it up. Pratt says he'll debate Bass every week. He goes, let's do it every Friday. Can you imagine that? 5 months? 20 debates?
Can they do it here?
First thing I thought of. Come here. We'll host a debate. All my questions.
You really think Mayor Bass is going to show up here?
Oh, Spencer will.
But then you don't have a debate. Just have one person. One candidate.
It may be that. Maybe we could create a fake Bass, an AI Bass. You run for mayor. I imagine she's going to avoid him because he's just going to bring up the truth. She has no response to that. She's lived in a bubble where no one's ever challenged her. For God's sake, can a reporter bring up all those years she was in Cuba? Just once? I mean, they keep bringing up his reality show character. His reality show character. He was playing a role. He was playing a character. I see people writing online. It's like, oh, I hated him when he was in that show. That wasn't real. What's wrong? Did you fall on your head? Television shows are not real. Even reality shows are not real. The producers create the storyline and they may improvise the dialogue, but the arc of the story, the mood of the show, the traits that the actors show about their character, that's all fake. I can't believe television has been on the air for 75 years and you still have to explain to people, it's like, it's a show. They're acting, they're exaggerating, they're improvising. Wow. This is a stupid species. Stupid species. But they all get to vote. Michael Gates is coming on next. Michael Gates, former Huntington Beach city attorney, former Trump Justice Department official. He's running against Rob Bonta. They had the first round of voting, and Bonta and Michael Gates both go on to the runoff. Tell you about it. We'll talk to Michael. Coming up, Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
The LA County Registrar Recorder County Clerk's Office says an estimated 713,180 ballots from last night's election still need to be counted. It's not known how many of those ballots are from within the city of LA, potentially affecting the race for mayor. The next update of the vote tally is expected tomorrow afternoon. Socialite Rebecca Grossman and former Dodger pitcher Scott Erickson have been found negligent in the deaths of two brothers who were hit and killed by Grossman's car in Westlake Village in 2020. Allegedly, while the couple was racing, jurors have awarded the boys' family $176 million in damages. The jury has also found Grossman and Erickson acted with malice in the deaths of Mark and Jacob Iskender. A man has been charged with violently assaulting a handful of women at UCLA.
The attacks all happened within the span of an hour, starting at around 11:30 p.m. on May 28th. 4 of the attacks targeted students and happened in dorm buildings. The 29-year-old attacker was not a student and did not have permission to be on campus. He's being charged with 1 felony count of kidnapping to commit a forcible rape, 3 felony counts of assault with the attempt to commit a first-degree burglary, and 2 felony counts of assault. He faces 32 years to life in prison if convicted and would also have to register as a sex offender. Eileen Gonzalez, KFI News.
The cost of California's high-speed rail project has gone up again. The High-Speed Rail Authority approved a $3.5 billion contract this week for work on a segment in the Central Valley. The project's estimated cost could be up to $231 billion. It was sold to voters in 2008 as a train that would run between LA and San Francisco in under 3 hours for $33 billion. Some work has been done, but no track has yet been laid. A packed passenger jet has come dangerously close to another plane in Florida. ABC's Gio Benitez says the second plane was flying in an unusual way before landing.
Authorities say a JetBlue flight from Ecuador was just minutes from landing in Fort Lauderdale on Monday when controllers warned the pilots of a nearby plane. A short time later, those JetBlue pilots receiving an alert on the flight deck.
Flight Radar 24 data shows the JetBlue flight came within 500 feet vertically and just under 2 miles horizontally of the other plane. And Iran has fired more than a dozen ballistic missiles and drones on 2 U.S. allies in the Persian Gulf. ABC's Tom Sufi-Bird says it was in retaliation to the U.S. military targeting an oil tanker, which it says was breaching its blockade of Iranian ports.
They fired at that cargo tanker to disable it, but the Iranians fired back in a significant way, both targeting Bahrain, where there is a major U.S. naval base, but also targeting Kuwait.
Iran's defense ministry says it targeted Kuwait and Bahrain for housing U.S. bases, saying this was an act of self-defense. Southland weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog again in the morning, then sunny, highs mid-70s to low 80s. Metro LA, mid-80s to low 90s in the valleys and the high desert. Windy again in the high desert, upper 60s to low 70s at the beaches, mid to upper 70s inland OC, upper 80s to mid 90s and windy in the IE. Right now, 73 in Laguna Woods, and it's 77 in Rancho Santa Margarita. We have a police pursuit right now. Somebody allegedly who stole a car. It's happening in West Covina.
Apparently, we had another burglary suspect that police were after, and the suspect in the police pursuit has abandoned a vehicle. This was right near Artesia and Lakewood Boulevards in the Downey-Norwalk area, and then that suspect fled on foot carrying a backpack, and officers are after this suspect right now. And again, the vehicle that was pursued was abandoned near Artesia and Lakewood Boulevards. So that's where it stands right now. 91 westbound right at the 57. Watch for a U-Haul trailer that caught fire. The right-hand lanes are blocked. You're backed up to the 55. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
The LAUSD Division of Adult and Career Education offers over 100 free career training courses in high-demand fields. We also offer in-person and online classes in citizenship, English as a second language, and high school diploma. Your future begins with adult education. Visit adulted.lausd.org or call 213-241-3150. See you in school.
At GiveMeTheVin.com, it's all digital. We have a 45-second offer online. It's fast, it's easy, and we have the best online reviews on the planet. Sell me your car.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Commercial contractors. It takes a well-managed crew of professionals to keep a company running smoothly, and that takes time. ServiceTitan, the end-to-end business management platform for the trades, provides the tools to manage your crew in the field. With automated scheduling, time tracking, progress updates, and more, your teams stay on track, on budget, and aligned from start to finish. Learn how ServiceTitan is taking your teams to new levels of efficiency. Visit ServiceTitan.com to request a demo. That's ServiceTitan.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in the greater LA area without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in the greater LA area for free. That's right. We'll give you 2 free tickets when you text EARN to 64,000. The greater LA area is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in the greater LA area and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text EARN to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text EARN to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text EARN to 64,000.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
LNK's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. One confession can turn into a full-on phone explosion. Hear the drama, the heartbreak, and the advice everyone's talking about on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. LNK's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
With iHeart, everything you hear is guaranteed human. That's why 78% of listeners trust their favorite radio host's product recommendations. If you manage a business or need to drive sales, that trust goes a long way. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. Again, that's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST Medical.
Termites active? Call Pacific Coast Termite. No tenting, plus 10% off. Call 1-800-PACIFIC.
America's band, the Beach Boys, celebrate 250 years of the USA. July 4th, fireworks spectacular with the Beach Boys. Live. July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the Hollywood Bowl. With special guest John Stamos. Get tickets now at HollywoodBowl.com. Celebrate 250 years with America's original July 4th fireworks spectacular with the Beach Boys.
We all know music inspires creativity, but it also strengthens the area of a child's brain linked to math and language skills. Yet school music programs are disappearing across the country. The Save the Music Foundation, together with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and iHeartRadio, are restoring music education nationwide. Help give every child the chance to learn, grow, and thrive. Join the movement now at SaveTheMusic.org. Go to SaveTheMusic.org.
KFI.org.
KFI, you guys are awesome.
I can leave it on all day and enjoy everything I'm listening to.
They talk about the news that we don't normally hear on mainstream news.
I am a fan. I literally have it like in my ear constantly. KFI keeps me entertained, keeps a smile on my face.
KFI. KFI. AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show, Ron from 3 to 6, after 6. John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And also we're live on YouTube. To subscribe, become a member, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. All right, let's get Michael Gates on. Michael Gates, we've had on for years, Huntington Beach city attorney for a long time, always taken on Bonta and Newsom for all the interference that they created into local affairs in Huntington Beach and other towns. And Gates went on to become an official at the Trump Justice Department. Now he's back in California, taking on the California Attorney General Rob Bonta. Obviously, the primary was yesterday, so we'll talk with Michael Gates how the first round went, because Gates and Bonta are going to a runoff. Michael Gates, how are you?
Great. We're doing really good today.
So I think people should know, because I didn't know this, but you ran against Bonta, and he got 54%. You got 42%, and I thought, that means he's in the finals. He's already won because he got over 50%. But it turns out that's not true, because you had two other challengers running as well, which means there is a runoff. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So in California, basically, because it's considered a partisan race. The two top vote getters go to the general election regardless. So only in nonpartisan races like the state superintendent would there be a possibility of a decision made based on a 50% plus one in the June primary. But that's not the case in the partisan race of the attorney general. So we would, regardless of the outcome of yesterday's primary, as long as the top two vote getters, regardless, go on to the general. So yes, we prevailed. My victory started on March 6th, which was the close of filing for this position. And prior to that, we lined up a bunch of endorsements. There were a couple other candidates that were looking to get in this race for attorney general. And because I had lined up all the endorsements, they decided not to run. All my endorsers said, no, we're with Michael Gates for attorney general. So we basically cleared the field of other challengers. So it's basically down to, like you said, me, Bonta, and another insignificant candidate. So it was a good strategy so far. A strong campaign. As you know, we raised over $1 million in the past 16 weeks. And now we're victors here in the primary, and we're headed towards the general. So, and as you know too, Bonta's a disaster. So he's he's a disaster. Okay, so you get a reset now. You got 5 months to take him on. You got a base of at least 42%. What's the campaign strategy to get from 42 to 50? So there's a couple things. One, I got almost 43%. The votes are not being done counted. We anticipate with the late counted ballots that I may be at 44, 45. We'll see. But the point is I did all of that without spending $1 on marketing myself or my campaign. The voters don't know who I am based on money spent. The voters only know who I am based on media, free social media, town halls, just being out on the road. Now, in this final stretch towards the general, I'm going to have money to spend. I'm going to be pushing ads on social media. I'm going to be pushing ads on TV and radio. So we're going to broaden our reach, and we're going to be able to reach millions of people. The strategy is I'm the rule of law candidate, and I am going to fight like heck to return California to a law and order state. We're lawless at the hands of Rob Bonta. He's a disaster, and the voters have to learn. They have to know, and I don't think they do now, but they will. He spent $500,000 on criminal defense attorneys because the federal government was asking him tough questions. He spent $500,000 on criminal defense attorneys defending himself because he was asked a lot of tough questions about, associations with bribery and corruption and all kinds of terrible stuff. And then he's got more friends who have been federally indicted than I think I have friends to begin with. I mean, he literally, former Mayor Sheng Tao, federally indicted, former Mayor Sheng Tao of Oakland, federally indicted, Andy Duong, federally indicted, and now he's associated with former Mayor Eileen Wang of Arcadia, who is the Chinese operative who was sent here to influence government officials like Rob Bonta, also federally indicted. So this guy's no good from top to bottom. He's created a lawless society here in California. Voters need to know that. They will know that when my campaign's done, and they're going to have a clear choice. Do they want a rule of law candidate like myself, or continue with the same old lawlessness that we've had from Rob Bonta?
I think not only in your race, but in the state in general, in most of these races, the public doesn't know what's going on. And this is the predictable arc of having one party rule for the last at least 16 years. This is what you get. And you have, this is like stuff you read about it, like Chicago in the 1930s, New York City in the 19-teens. This is where it always goes when one group stays in power too long.
Yeah, and another perfect example is they get so bold and brazen when there's one party rule and no checks and balances that they really endorse and pass legislation like the Stop Nick Shirley Act. That's an attack on our First Amendment right. It's a brazen attack on our First Amendment right, yet it's being successful as proposed legislation through the Assembly right now. And Rob Bonta, where is he? He's nowhere to be found. He should be out in front of this saying, hey, legislature, you cannot do this. This is a violation not only of free speech, but freedom of the press. Look, when I'm Attorney General, I'm going to be fighting like heck to protect the constitutional rights of everyday Californians, including the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. We're going to be compliant with all federal laws like federal immigration law, federal elections law, Title IX. We're going to protect young girls in sports. I mean, we are going to honor, uphold, and defend the rule of law when I'm Attorney General. We are lawless here right now, and you can see Rob Bonta and his wife, Mia Bonta, pushing legislation to literally try to take away our First Amendment rights and attack us as everyday Californians. So
it is pretty galling because part of his job is to enforce the Constitution. And when the legislature coughs up an unconstitutional bill in two ways, like you said, freedom of the press and freedom of speech, he's supposed to publicly say, no, this is no good. This is illegal, unconstitutional. We can't allow this.
Right. He's the chief legal officer for the state, which means he's supposed to be advising the governor, advising the legislature, the secretary of state, all of the offices, all state agencies on what's constitutional and not constitutional. And then in addition to that, he's the top law enforcement officer, which means he's the top cop, and he's supposed to be fighting crime. California is ranked number 6 in highest crime in the nation out of 50 states, according to the FBI data on violent crime. Ranked to number 6. Californians, we live in one of the most dangerous states in the country because of him, whereas what I did in Huntington Beach, we made Huntington Beach one of the safest cities in the entire state of California out of nearly 500 cities. So his record on crime is abysmal. We're one of the most dangerous states on his watch to live in the country, while Huntington Beach is quite literally one of the safest cities in the entire state of California out of 500 because of me, my leadership. I was tough on crime. We prosecuted every misdemeanor and quality of life crime like it was a felony. We were really tough on crime. And now people don't even want to go to Huntington Beach if they're looking to commit crimes. You can see it on social media. They say, let's not go to Huntington Beach. Let's find another city to commit our crimes in. So it's really, Look, Huntington Beach is amazing. I want to bring that level of prosecution and public safety, frankly, to every city in the state of California. Rob Bonta has created a lawless society here. We have corruption everywhere. Corruption, nearly $500 billion of wasted, taxpayer money to waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, the list goes on and on. You're reporting on it every day.
Oh, yeah.
California is a disaster because of Rob Bonta.
Well, I'm glad you're going to run a really loud, aggressive campaign, because that's what's needed. I think that's what Spencer Pratt is doing in L.A. Steve Hilton is doing it. You're going to do it. Yeah. And all your voices in unison have to start just beating people over the head because it's all true. And I don't think people are aware.
And I'll tell the folks in L.A., look, when Spencer Pratt is mayor, I'm going to be his best friend as Attorney General because I have purview over all 58 sheriff's departments in the state of California, including Los Angeles sheriffs. We're going to send in the troops. And we're going to clean up Los Angeles, and we're going to make it safe with or without the support of city council, with or without the support of local officials in L.A. I'm going to work with Spencer Pratt, and he and I will get it done together.
Yeah, I want that to happen. All right. Yeah. We'll talk a lot, Michael.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on. Michael Gates, going on to the runoff against Rob Bonta in November for Attorney General. Deborah Mark Live, KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. FBI has shot and killed a man in Bakersfield who held several people hostage at a bank for hours. President Trump admits to calling Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu crazy. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We're going to go back to that chase on the 10 next.
Let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, well, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. Your business, though, runs all year, and so do the gaps and the risk. So I'm telling you about SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, the CFO, or the HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, and all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like Fine Print Facts, which translates your current policy into plain English. Finally, we get this. So you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know exactly what needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. Supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow. Highs upper 60s to mid 90s. This report brought to you by iHeartAdvertising.com. From your Toyota dealers traffic center, we make it easy. Back we go to that police chase on the 10.
Looking at television right now, it looks like it's on the 10 eastbound through Ontario. CHP officers on motorcycle are pursuing a suspect wanted for stealing a car, and the driver is weaving in and out of traffic. One moment he's in the carpool lane, other moments he's driving on the right-hand shoulder. One of the tires on the vehicle blew out, so he's driving on 3 good tires and a bum tire. In the meantime, CHP officers still in pursuit on the East End. This is through Ontario. If you're in the area, just be careful. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next 2 combined. Learn how podcasting can help your business at iHeartAdvertising.com.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Only a few weekends of racing at Santa Anita Parks Hollywood meet every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Experience racing excitement with Uncorked Wine Festival, Fiesta de Santa Anita, and Bomberos Car Show and closing day on June 14th with mandatory payouts on all pools. Weekend admission, parking in a program, just $10. Every Friday, enjoy free admission and parking plus all day 50% off happy hour. With millions in payouts every race day, explore new experiences at the Great Race Place by visiting santaanita.com/events.
This June, the world comes to Los Angeles. Kick off FIFA World Cup 2026 at the FIFA Fan Festival at the iconic Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Watch matches live on giant screens. Feel every goal with thousands of fans. And celebrate with music, culture, and flavors from around the world. Join us June 11th through 14th, opening weekend, as the tournament kicks off in Los Angeles. Tickets are just $10 and kids under 12 are free. Get yours now at LosAngelesFWC26.com.
Is it time to downsize? Selling your home doesn't have to be a hassle.
With Seller's Advantage, you can skip the commissions and costly repairs. By the time you pay for repairs, you could have already sold your home for a fair, competitive price without the worry of the deal falling through.
Here's what Chris Chavez, a real Seller's Advantage customer, had to say. Seller's Advantage was definitely the best company I've worked with. They offered me more than I expected, and the whole process was great. They were helpful, always answer the phone, and willing to help. I can't say enough about the experience. Much better than going through a realtor.
Get your free no-obligation cash offer today. Call Seller's Advantage at 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-AS-IS.
That's 888-321-2747 or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 0196168. Providence Realty DRE number 0191522.
Having car problems that won't go away? If your vehicle's been in the shop 2 or more times for the same issue, you may qualify for a refund, replacement, or cash compensation. You pay nothing, the manufacturer covers the fees. Go to refundyourlemon.com. It takes just 2 minutes. That's refundyourlemon.com.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
AMCO, with over 40 centers serving Southern California.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show, the CSU system has spent millions instituting AI into college classes and college life in general, and it's absolutely tearing itself apart. We'll explain. The Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow morning at 9.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're on every day from 3 to 6. After 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And you can listen to what you missed. And that's going to be released in just a few minutes. And we're in the final minutes of our YouTube broadcast. But you can watch that at 6 as well. We end at 6, and then immediately it's recorded and posted. We just had Michael Gates on, and boy, that's what an attorney general should sound like. I mean, you never heard Rob Bonta sound like. You never hear anybody in power sound like it. Basically, we've got to get the bad guys. We have to do the investigations. We have to do the prosecutions. We got to put the bad guys away, whether it's violent crime or all this fraud that's going on in government. This has got to end. And right now, nobody's being prosecuted for anything. And like I mentioned before, they're releasing the worst people, the people like the one guy, Funston, who was kidnapping, beating up, and raping little girls. I mean, it doesn't get worse than that. And they're releasing those characters. There's been a few of them released. And all the commissioners have been reappointed by Gavin Newsom. Five were reappointed just this week. We're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow, because any Republicans in the legislature who objected to those 5 getting reappointed, they were basically told to shut up. This is the way it's run, and this is why I think why it's making me crazy that people are talking. Well, it's deep blue, or it's red, it's blue, it's purple. No, it's not. It's not about colors. It's not about stupid ideology. It's about you have a guy who rapes little children. And Gavin Newsom appoints 20 people who let him out and then reappoints them. And when you try to scream about it, now the legislators are told to shut up. This is so whacked out. This is so extreme. And the worry that the message that Hilton and Pratt are trying to get through, and now you heard Michael Gates, is you can't give up here. There's too many people who've given up. And so when you give up and you have one-party rule for 16 years and it affects every level of government, now you have violent child rapists being let go. And the ones who let them go get rewarded from the governor. Now, I ask this all the time. How the hell is he running for president on this? He is going to get eviscerated and disemboweled by the other Democratic candidates who aren't doing this. A lot of the Democratic candidates for president are going to be governors of other states where they don't release violent child rapists. A guy who does, it's a triple crown, everything short of murder, kidnapping, beats them up, and then rapes them. In fact, one girl was left on the side of the road. David Allen Funston, that case. And then the guy goes into his parole hearing and says, yeah, I'm still attracted to girls. And I splash water in my face and tell myself not to do it. Parole board says, good, you can go home now. And then Newsom reappoints them. There is nobody. They won't even protect 8-year-old girls anymore. In fact, these weren't even 8. They were all under the age of 7. One of them was like age 3. You imagine letting out a monster who's raping a 3-year-old? And David Allen Funston did. And Funston was released briefly until he was rearrested because there was another outstanding crime. But they really let the guy out, and Newsom really reappointed. And we're going to go into this in detail tomorrow. I can't even believe I'm reading this. Can you believe you're even hearing this? Can you believe that a majority of Californians are reelecting people who do this, who allow this stuff? That's just crazy. So crazy. Okay. I can't believe how slow the recount is. This is such a backwards. I don't want to insult third world countries. Third world countries get their votes counted quicker. I mean, ever since we signed on, I think about 1% of the vote has come through. It's like 1% since 7 a.m. this morning. It's 11 hours. They counted 1% of the vote. What's going on in the state and in LA County? What are they doing all day? Are they all sitting around naked, rubbing oils and lotions on each other? Do you people work? What are you doing? Everybody else who voted yesterday in the other states, nearly all their votes have been counted. But not here. All right. Conway's up next. See you tomorrow. Michael Crozier has the news live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.